What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at it again with another episode of the Just Chillin podcast call-in show. Today's call-in, usually for the past month or so, we've been doing the draft talk, and we can still very much do that off-season talk and whatnot with good reason. The off-season's going on. Of course, you're going to talk about that. This time, though, and once again, for any callers that still wants to talk draft and whatnot, you're completely 100% welcome to do it. I just wanted to talk a little bit different. As the title says, let's talk Giants legends, like legendary New York Giants players, guys that are in the Hall of Fame, guys that are not in the Hall of Fame that you think should be, or, guys that are in the Giants Ring of Honor, whoever you want to bring up. Let's just talk Giants legends because why not? Could be a bit fun, and we'll see how it goes. With that being said, shout out to everybody in the chat. Big Blue in the Bronx, Joe Yato, Joseph Balby, Edward Chan, Nate Talks Giants, NFL DNA, Jaden the Champ, Sonny D, David A.V. I think I already said Joseph. Jay, the Giants fan, in here as well. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? And let's get the first caller on. It is a bearded fellow. It is a member. It is Joe Yato. What up, Joe? How you doing?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Just catching back, relaxing. It's been a busy 5 days for me, as you saw on the last stream with Max.
Yeah, nah, you were just living.
Oh, dude, I've been doing that for the last 5 days, just living on the riverbank, enjoying the weather.
Yeah,
I mean, it rained the other day. We put a pop-up tent. We stayed down there for like 6 hours, just enjoying.
Yeah.
But Larry, you want to talk about legends, Giants football? I'm prepared for this. I wasn't prepared for if we were talking draft or anything.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that probably should be talked about the most was a running back we had. His name was Joe Morris. Okay. He went to Syracuse University, like right in between where I live and you live. And he was just that little 5'8" power scat back. He could catch, he could run, he could block, he could. I personally, I think he had a short career, but he was one of the most underrated players that should be talked about in Giants lore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talk about the great offensive lines that we used to have. I mean, we got.
And by the way, tell not only myself but the viewers, because this is definitely before my time. Like, what was this man all about? What was the offense looking like? All of that.
Man, it was either Joe Morris or else it was Mark Bavaro. One of them two guys was getting the ball, and they were going to create something. That's been a long time for me, but he was one of my favorite Giant players. He wore number 20.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, well, when I played football in high school, we had a field trip to Syracuse, and I got to watch him play in the orange and blue scrimmage, I think they called it back then. And the poor kid ran into the wall and got a concussion. And then he got drafted by the Giants late in the rounds. And so getting to watch him play, I mean, there had to be like 20 or 30 local football teams from high schools and all that were allowed to go. And we were in the dome. We were the only ones. I mean, that was a big thing for us.
I mean, so you went up to Syracuse. I'm guessing, was it because of your high school football team trip then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a field trip for us.
Mm-hmm.
That way we could see what it's like to be in the next step. I mean, this is high school, and then you get to watch a college scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
We would participate in college scrimmages back in the day, but nothing like what that was just a whole different. So,
shout out to everybody in the chat. Dave Maggette, James says.
Oh, yes.
Who's that?
Who?
Who is Dave Maggette?
Oh, Dave Maggette.
Or Maggette.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was another little scat back that we had. He was pretty good. Was that after Otis Sanderson? That was.
And NFL DNA says, don't forget Barth Oates or Oates. Am I mispronouncing it? Bart Oates.
Yeah, Bart Oates. He was a lineman. Really good lineman too. Jumbo Elliott. Yeah, that was another one. That offensive line back in the day.
That's the 80s, I'm guessing?
Yeah, that'd be about the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
That was something special to see because it was 86. The year before, Chicago just stomped us in the playoffs. And that was a heartbreaker. Of course, that was the refrigerator, Perry Williams, what? Refrigerator Perry, Mike Perry, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the quarterback, Jim McMahon, and you had that awesome Bears defense, 1985.
Now, I never saw it live, but
Oh,
I'm gonna go with bias and say the '86 Giants defense was better.
the 86 Giants defense, that was something because we went into that Super Bowl and John Elway, this was the big thing. John Elway was saying, I'm going to Disney World because everyone picked Denver to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody, we've been an underdog even since that first championship. And when you see Phil Simms do it, I don't know if you can go back and find the commercials or not, but Simms had to do a couple quick practice takes on the field, and then he did one. He goes, yeah, I'm going to Disney World. And then he just walked off the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to shut down that Denver offense, they were pretty good. Mecklenburg was a really good linebacker that they had. I remember that guy. And then didn't they have Steve Atwater? They had a really good secondary. These guys are naming fire.
I was about to say, yeah, I see Pepper Johnson. I know about Pepper Johnson, Joe Morris. Of course, everybody knows about Carl Banks, Leonard Marshall, Gary Reasons.
Mm-hmm. Harry Carson.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. All that hit Reasons did. Oh, that game. That was I still watch that on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That was a phenomenal hit. I mean, the football was so much different back then because it wasn't, the quarterbacks weren't protected, the receivers weren't protected. It was just a different atmosphere. Mm-hmm. I mean, you went out onto that field and you knew you were going to get hit. I mean, especially if you were playing. San Francisco was really good in the 80s. I mean, they went from Joe Montana to Steve Young, and they had Ronnie Lott in the secondary, and he would just light you up. The defenses back then were just so much. They weren't hamstrung the way they are today. I mean, you look at some of the guys, and I understand it, player safety.
No, I feel like player safety at a point became like too much, like maybe mid 2010s. Like I feel like there was a good amount of time from like the mid 2000s to like the early 2010s where it was a good balance.
It was, but you know what? Here's the thing. Player safety only goes so far as to the development of what the players are wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really think about it, the helmets haven't changed. The shoulder pads haven't changed. I mean, Christ, guys were going out there a couple of years ago without even wearing knee pads anymore. I wouldn't play a game without wearing knee pads. I bang my legs up so much, and that's in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand it's for speed, it's for movement, it's to try to get an edge, but you're going to get hurt more.
Mm-hmm.
Myron Guyton, Everson Walls. Yeah, these guys are coming up with some old names. They're going back in my memory bank.
And NFL DNA got a question for me. He says, do I think the Giants get Devontae Smith in the draft? I think Devontae Smith is certainly a possibility. I've been saying for months he's going to be there at 11. I don't know if we're going to draft him. But then I can't really speak on this. This would be something Joel could speak on. He says Devontae reminds him of Mark Ingram Sr.
I would say that he's a better route runner than Ingram. I think he breaks off a little bit sharper than Ingram Sr. did. I mean, he was a good route runner. He had really good hands, but they're about the same size. But I think he's a better route runner than Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
Just with that sharp break off. I mean, he can come across and
I mean, a lot of people consider him the best route runner in this class. So
right. I mean, but I mean, the Giants have never really had an outstanding wide receiver. I mean, okay, we had OBJ, but look at our championships. We had
Plaxico.
Well, yeah, but how much of it was his height? I mean, he was just such a mismatch. I mean, everybody.
I don't think that takes away from him being an outstanding receiver, though.
No, but he was always, I mean, everybody talks about Plexico, though. He was always just a go route, and he was good at 50-50 balls.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh, so okay, define. What do you mean by we never had a outstanding receiver?
Well, we never. Well, I mean, we never had a Jerry Rice. We never had a.
Oh, you're talking about like one of the top receivers in the league.
Right.
Okay,
Right. I mean,
and
we
you're right.
always had.
Other than like Odell for like 2 or 3 years, I
But we
can't really
didn't
think of
win.
it. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't win. I mean, if you look at the receivers that we had during our championship years, I mean, they were never really phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, Plexico, you could argue that he was
I see people say,
more,
well, I see DNA saying that Toomer was better than Plex.
record wise, Toomer is, isn't he? I mean,
You're
Toomer's
talking
got
about
the
like
most,
receptions, yards over
yeah,
career? Probably, I think so.
yes. So, I mean, Plexico shot himself in the leg and our team went downhill real quick. So
Mm-hmm.
you cannot deny that he was not a factor on that offense and he was not replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely say that. But, as far as greatness, I mean, if you really list wide receivers, wouldn't Armani Toomer be a number one
Probably.
on the New York Giants?
I mean, he's the best wide receiver we've had in Giants history.
Right. I mean, we've always had the guy that would make the play at the time. I mean, when the Giants played the Bills, wasn't it Baker that it was like 3rd and 19 and he was getting tackled by one leg and he hopped on the other leg and he got the first down? I mean, he was never a star,
Mm-hmm.
but he always gave that effort. I mean, I guess that's what I have a hard time with everybody saying we need a number one wide receiver. We
Well, we
just
have
need a
our number one
we
now.
just need a guy who can catch the friggin' ball. I mean, that's all we need. Daniel Jones hit those guys. I'm still seeing the Daniel Jones hate.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? He's our quarterback. He's my quarterback. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna do good.
Mm-hmm.
He's already getting the guys together down in Arizona. What more can you ask for? A leader, guys taking responsibility, guy that wants to learn the playbook. He's not going to strip clubs. He's not
Dwayne
having
Haskins.
$1,000 lap dances. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Jason Sehorn. There was another guy that was highly underrated.
And I know since you
Ronnie
directed
Hampton.
it towards the draft a little bit, of course you are an offensive line guy, but how realistic is it that Slater is going to be there?
Guys, I mean, we knew that guys would rise and fall in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of the year, everybody wanted a number one wide receiver. Well, nobody really took into account free agency. By the way, the Giants knocked that out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the haters can hate all they want. We're going 12-5, baby. We're going to crush the Eagles twice. We're going to crush the Redskins twice. And we're going to crush Dallas twice. So y'all just live with it. We are the beast of the East. That's
Okay.
all there is to it.
Okay.
That's all. Hey, you know what? There's 6 games right there, baby. Boom. Because Dallas.
Oh, Jesse Armstead. There's a name.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
one.
Armstead, he was one of those players that was down in Texas when they had that school scandal. All these guys, they were signed down to Florida State. I forget the name of that team, but it was a documentary on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Washington football team. Thank
Oh, Joe, you there?
you, NFL DNA. I'm Perkins for I can't stop calling it that.
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem Nicks was okay coming out of North Carolina, but he never.
Well, this is where it gets iffy, right? Do you give the guys on the 2011 team the label of legend? Like, does Cruz get a label of Giants legend?
Cruz gets a.
I feel like he has to.
You know what?
Like, we still talk about him to this day.
What stats do you want to go by? Do you want to go by fan favorite, which he's probably in the top 5 of lifetime Giant fan favorites?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but if you go by his stats, he had one good year.
Well, that's why we're not talking like NFL legend, specifically Giants legend.
But that's what I'm saying, is a Giant legend. I mean, because even though I can go back to the 80s, if you go back
so
to
let me ask you this. Is Phil Simms a Giants legend?
To me, he is. He will
Wouldn't he
always
have
be a
like
Giants.
similar? I know different position with similar stats to Cruz.
Was there other guys? I mean, well, yeah. I mean, you could have said that Baker was similar to Cruz. I mean, he was the same body type. Um, he was a slot receiver. We had a couple others. I can't remember their name off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what? As a fan favorite, Cruz is a legend.
Mm-hmm.
He had that great game against the Jets that led us to the playoffs. You know, he was a team leader. He did what he had to do. But as far as the Ring of Honor, he had a really good year
He
for
had the best.
undrafted.
He had like probably the best single season wide receiver like
Right.
thing in history, probably.
So I mean, it all depends on what you want to go off of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look how long it took Harry Carson to get into the Football Hall of Fame, and he was there with LT through all those years.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to ask you though, Joe. We're gonna have to wrap it up to get the next
Yep.
member in though. Let me hear kind of on the similar part of Giants legend, other than LT, other than Eli. Who's your favorite Giants legend? And we're gonna close it off with that.
Oh my goodness! Can I have like 30 seconds? Play the trivia thing, from Jeopardy for me real quick. My favorite Giants.
You
You know what? It will be Harry Carson's because he started Gatorade shower for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He
final answer.
Harry Carson's
53, right?
Yeah, 53. When he first dumped that bucket of Gatorade over Bill Parcells at one game, and to follow him every game on the field at the end of the game if the Giants were winning. Oh, there's Harry, and I could still hear. John Madden talk about it. He'd go, boom, there comes the Gatorade, and he'd draw the circles, the X's, the O's. It was really cool.
But I thank you for calling in, Joel, man. Love it. Love hearing the old Giants stories, man. Any other calls that come in, it doesn't have to be Giants legend specific. If you want to talk draft, go ahead. But thank you for calling in, Joel, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Next up, we got Bobby Woodruff. Bobby, what up, man? How you doing?
A little sad to hear what happened last week.
Nah, what happened?
I had to bury Seahawk last week.
Oh man, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah,
How old was
she
she?
was 15.
Well, it was probably time.
But I have a new cat now. Her name is Nala.
Nala? Like from The Lion King?
Yes, I didn't know that name was from The Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 4 years old. She's kind of shy.
Oh, kind of shy.
Yeah, she's getting used to the apartment.
Shout out to Zenith for the $5 super chat. He said, "Great topic today, bro. What's good, Giants fans?" Thank you, Zenith. But yeah, you even got people in chat saying, "Rest in peace, Seahawk, man."
Thank you guys. Love you guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. So you want to hear a story about my past, about the Giants? Giants story I have.
Is it a Giants legend story?
Yes, Giants.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, my aunt and uncle took me and my brother to dinner one time at Bennigan's, upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
And the hostess did not know who she set us next to.
Mm-hmm.
She set us next to Leonard Marshall. My mouth just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
How
old were you then?
Oh, I was like, let's see, in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting so excited. I couldn't even, my mouth just dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even get his autograph. My aunt had to get it from me. So
really?
Yeah.
Did you see what he ordered?
Who?
Marshall.
Oh no, he was with his girl, a woman at the time. I didn't. I wasn't even looking at his food. I was looking at him. I was so impressed.
Was it nice?
Oh, very nice. His autograph. I was nervous at the beginning.
So did that like make him one of your favorite players just because you got to see him in person?
Yeah, I like him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I met a lot of people. Like when I went to Albany, I met Michael Strahan.
That's one that I want to meet someday, man. I would love to meet
He's a nice guy. He gave us his autograph because he had to go back and forth to his, what they do during the practice. He gave us his autograph. I met Bob Papa too. I met Bob Papa. Remember him? He's a nice guy. The best running back for the Giants, I think, was Joe Morris. Joe Morris was the best running back.
You put him over Tiki?
Oh, definitely. Tiki Coop, he couldn't hold his jock strap. No way. No way he could not hold Joe Morris's jock strap. I do not like Tiki Barber.
And I was gonna say, I don't like Tiki Barber either. But like I know that him on the field was really, really good, man.
Yeah, but he kept fumbling the ball, and then he puts down Eli Manning. I'll give you the reasons why you don't like the guy. He puts down Eli Manning on the bus, and I'm happy he left the Giants before he won. The Giants won the Super Bowl. The year after he left, we won the Super Bowl. Thank God he missed the big mouth and not won the Super Bowl with us. Can't stand, and he cheated on his wife too.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, but
yes, just remember that he cheated on his wife. Lawrence Taylor I met in person because next to Giant Stadium across the way, they had a restaurant, LT's, and we met him at his restaurant. He had a bodyguard named Macaroni.
Macaroni?
Yeah, this guy was huge. He was built like a.
Why does LT need a bodyguard? He's LT.
I don't know. Well, he's famous. People want to get.
Yeah, but I feel like LT will be tougher than his bodyguard.
No, you have to see Macaroni. He was like a brick wall.
Okay.
He was huge.
Why wasn't Macaroni playing for the Giants?
I don't know. Maybe he wasn't into football. I met LT. He's great. He was great. I like that play. What's his name? Joe brought up about. It gets the Denver Broncos in the snow. The reason stop that play. That was an awesome play in the snow. Did you ever see that snow play?
Mm-mm.
He stopped the Broncos like big time and they won the game. He was good. Gary Reasons was good. Who else was good on that team? A lot of players I like.
Which team do you like better, the 86 or the 90?
I like the 86 better.
Okay. I saw somebody early in the chat say they prefer the 90 team.
Well, the 90s was good, but we got lucky. The guy missed the field goal. That's why we won the Super Bowl.
So you prefer 86 because it was just dominance.
Oh, we destroyed John Elway. Oh, that was so funny. Okay, I got a trivia question if you know. Trivia question.
I might not, so let me hear.
What baseball team recruited John Elway?
I don't watch baseball, but I'm going to take my best guess. Can tell me their colors.
No. Think. I'll give you a clue.
Okay.
You're in their city.
Really? The Mets?
Mm-mm.
Not the Yankees.
I said, yeah, the Yankees. Yeah.
The Yankees?
Yeah, look it up. John Elway.
Recruited John Elway?
Yeah, look that up. It's true. Look it up.
I did not know that.
Google it. See, I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Look it up. Google it right now.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, Elway. John Elway.
Yeah, he even has a Yankees rookie card.
Yep, told you. John Elway got recruited by.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, he was a good. I guess he played baseball and football. And he always looked like his lips were purple for some reason. He looked like he might have sucked on the football too much. His lips were always purple. You ever see his lips purple every time he played the game?
So I asked you out of the 86 and 90 team, which you prefer? Out of the 07 and 11 team, which one do you prefer?
Well, the one that beat the Patriots going undefeated. Which
07.
Yeah, 07. That was the better one.
Okay. Even though people would I've seen some people argue that the 11 team was better based off of who they beat in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. I've heard that, but the 07 team I think overall is better. Just if we're looking at how they performed because the defense was just way better.
They beat the undefeated team to go. They beat the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know the only team that stayed undefeated?
The Dolphins.
There you go. You're smart, Dub.
Thank you. That was Marino. They went.
No, that wasn't Marino.
Wasn't it Marino and the Dolphins?
No, he never won a Super Bowl. That was way back in 1972. Going way back when.
Who didn't the Dolphins go like 16-0 or something?
Not with Marino. Let me look that up. Let me give you. Let me look. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not whatchamacallit.
Oh yes, the 14-0 Dolphins from 1972.
Yeah, I don't know who
The quarterback was Earl Morrall.
Earl Morrall. I never heard of him. Yeah, see, it's not.
There was also Bob Grease and Jim DeGlazio.
Yeah, Bob Greasy was part of that team too.
Bet. Morning.
He's a good college announcer on college football, Bob Greasy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was. Now Marino never won a Super Bowl.
I know Marino never won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I was thinking undefeated regular season for some reason.
Yeah, he was too young to be in that one. Who's after me on the background?
Mike Nixon.
All right, he's cool, isn't he? Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to hear who his legends are that he wants to talk about.
Oh, I know. He probably has a lot of them.
So before I let you go, give me your favorite legend, not named Eli and not named LT.
Okay, my favorite was Dave Meggett.
Why?
Because he was awesome. Kickoffs, he was awesome. Running back, he was great. He never kind of fumbled the ball. He was a great running back all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great guy.
How good was he compared to Morris?
Well, Morris was good too. They were both good, but he was this really scat back. He played for the Patriots too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why Bill Parcells brought him to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
No, he brought him from the Giants to the Patriots. That's got that backwards.
Okay, bet.
But then Meggett is awesome. I just love Meggett. Every time he kick off, he was going like a rocket. Nobody could.
Mm-hmm. And then give me one legend you like from the other two Super Bowl teams, 07 and 11.
I like Victor Cruz.
Everybody does, eh? I mean, he's a very likable dude.
He did the salsa.
Mm-hmm.
Salsa. And then the college is not too far where I live. It's only like a half an hour away.
Cruz?
UMass. Yeah, UMass.
Bet.
Just a half an hour down the road from me.
Hey, man. Well, Bobby, thank you for calling in, man. Thank you for talking about the legends, and I like the Leonard Marshall story.
I miss my Seahawk.
It's okay, man. I hope you're good.
When she gets used to it, bring Nala on, okay?
Okay, you got to get her out of her. You got to get her out of her shy self.
Oh yeah, no. She's doing good. She, it gets to warm up after you're not used to apartment. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cats are like that. All right, so nice talking to you, Hub. You're great. A+.
Thank you, Bobby. Have a good one, man.
Okay.
Next up, we got Mike. Mike, what's up, bro? How you doing? The Knicks beat the Lakers. Knicks run New York, bro.
Yep. Isn't it great?
Yeah, I just want to say real quick. The day that I think it was Julius Randle's wife put up on IG that he's getting the braids back. I texted my friend. I was like, bro, we're about to go 10-0. Randle with the braids and RJ in his bag, and we're currently 3-0. There's only 7 more games to go to make it 10-0.
Oh man.
But yeah,
happen.
Real quick, NFL DNA is asking me. He was always a fan of this underrated receiver. Can I guess which one? Well, if it's a Giants player, like all Giants players not named, or all Giants receivers not named Odell were underrated. So you're gonna have to be a bit more specific. But go ahead, Mike. Let's talk legends, man.
Man, I can only go back to like 2000.
Mm-hmm. That's still a good amount of time. That's 21 years right there.
Mm-hmm. But man, I love my boy Strahan, man.
I'm surprised nobody said Michael Strahan yet.
I love.
Or maybe Joel might have mentioned him. I can't remember. But nobody came out right and said Strahan. Yeah, go ahead.
I like Strahan, Toomer, Plax, Hakeem Nicks. Which, if it wasn't for the injuries, he would have been a stud.
Who?
if it wasn't for the injuries.
Who?
Hakeem Nicks.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people say
He
that.
would have been a stud.
Mm-hmm.
And man, Victor Cruz.
Random question, because this is, well, it's not a debate, but I've heard this before. Who was the number one receiver on that 11 team? Was it Knicks or was it Cruz? If you go by stats, obviously it's Cruz, but like, who was the actual number one?
I give it to Knicks
Mm-hmm.
because during that 11 season, defenses weren't prioritizing Victor Cruz, which is why he had the big year.
Mm-hmm.
The most of the attention went to, well, most of the attention was to stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
But when they passed, defenses had to prepare for Hakeem Nicks.
Mm-hmm.
But soon to be Giants legend Saquon Barkley.
Come on, we can't say that. That's why we're like Giants legends that already exist.
I know.
Oh,
but
not Plax. NFL DNA is
not-
saying underrated receiver that wore 17, not Plax. You got me there.
You got me there.
Giants receiver that wore 17, but not Plaxico?
If you wanted me to name an underrated receiver, not named Plax, Hakeem Nicks.
I mean, it sounds like you really love Hakeem, bro.
Yep. I have his jersey.
Yeah, and then somebody said in the chat before too as well. They said broke the foot was never the same again. I think he went to the 49ers, right?
I don't know, but I know he was on the Colts for some time and just never the same.
Mm-hmm.
Never the same after that injury, which sucks. But hold on. But yeah, I think Slater is gonna go high now because I'm really hearing about Penei Sewell's immaturity issues, and teams are not high on him now.
I have not been keeping track of the Penei Sewell stock. I didn't know that the dude had immaturity issues. Like, this is kind of not random, but very sudden, so close to the draft. Do you think it's true or you think it's smoke?
I don't know, but I want to take him. I want to take him if he's there. If he's there, because we already tried it once with DeAndre Baker, and there's immaturity issues. Besides the crime that he never committed, falling asleep in meetings. I had enough of that.
So then, would you take a chance on Parsons then?
Yeah, I would.
But you wouldn't take a chance on Sewell?
Parsons was when he was 17 years old. And I have a feeling now he's more mature than Sewell. I mean, he has
okay, I mean, you're right in terms of the age difference, but then in terms of what they did, it's also completely different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I wanna say that it's smoke, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. Dwayne Harris is who he was talking about in chat. I like Dwayne Harris. He was a great returner for us.
Yeah. That was it though. All he did was return.
I forgot he played for the Cowboys, but yeah, I like Dwayne Harris. He was a good returner, yeah.
And there was somebody else I used to like. He came from New England. Totally sucked when he was a Giant. Shane Vereen.
I wouldn't say totally, but yeah, Shane Vereen, he definitely wasn't what he was supposed to be when he came over.
Yeah. And injuries. He definitely had his fair share of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Good times, man. Good times.
I wouldn't even consider it good times. That's when our running back group really stunk.
Yeah.
And when, once again, people forget we did need Saquon. We couldn't find a running back to save our life for a good 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Not even 3, more than 3. Basically after 2011 or 2012, we couldn't find a running back to save our life. Ethan, I will be posting the link in 4 minutes for you to call in.
And then we had Rashad Jennings.
Rashad Jennings. The only thing I remember about Jennings is the 2016 season, and I think he got injured that season, or he was coming off an injury. One out of two.
He always got hurt for us.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same vote, he really didn't have a line.
100%.
Because I mean, I think he was underrated. It just sucks that he didn't have the line to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
Same can be said for Paul Perkins.
Paul Perkins. The thing about Paul Perkins that I never liked was that the dude was like the most unathletic running back I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
So I was fine with him not working out. I'm like, this dude, like, all he does is just run forward, and he's not even like great at that. He's just okay at that, average at best.
Let me ask you, Rob. Do you sometimes imagine what our offense would be if Odell was still here?
Not anymore. I was gonna say sometimes, but when I thought back on it, truthfully speaking, I haven't really thought about it since like end of 2019 season, and then inside the 2020 off season. I haven't really thought about it like that, but it's been a while.
Because I mean, I wish no harm against OBJ. That's still my favorite receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's still my favorite receiver. I just
what up,
cheered.
Jersey Life?
I just cheered when he took that end around against Dallas and scored.
Mm-hmm.
That was so awesome.
I mean, OBJ was the reason a lot of fans watch football for a good 3 years. So, yeah. But Mike, let me get like what I've been asking everybody before I swap you out here. Your favorite Giant legend, not named LT or Eli.
Strahan.
I like it. I don't know if you guys could see. Nah, you won't be able to see because the chair is blocking it. But I got the Michael Strahan brand sweatshirt in the back. Thank you for calling in, though, bro.
You got the help.
Go Knicks. 7 more wins to fulfill my 10-win prophecy.
Yep, and we'll do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mike. Peace, man.
Right. Peace.
Next up, we got Logan, and then after Logan, Max, then Barkley Goat, then Football Talk with Benny. I think I dropped the link in the chat, so anybody who wants to call in, you could call in and you'd be queued up right here on the line. What up, Logan? How you doing, man?
What's good, bro?
I'm good, man.
This is already my favorite call-in, and I haven't even been on yet for more than 30 seconds.
A word, but let's hear
Damn
it then.
fly! All right, we're good. My favorite Giants legend, not named more. I will say that to the end, but I got a story for you. All right, so basically, I was not born yet, but this happened to my mother. All right, so she was in the mall, right? Met Michael Strahan. He asked her on a date. She rejected him.
What's wrong, bro? She might need to get. I'm sorry. Might need to get psychiatrically evaluated, bro.
Chat, I'm not messing around.
Why?
Michael Strahan
Why'd she say
asked
no?
my mother out, and she rejected him.
Why'd she say no?
Bro, aren't you happy? She never would have had me, bro.
Yo, listen, but you gotta ask her why you say no.
I asked her. She said I thought he was gonna play me because he was like a famous person.
How long ago was this? Like, what year was this?
I don't know. It was more than 15 years ago.
That man was 15. Nah. Oh, so that's like right towards.
It was probably more than 20.
I was like, if it was 15, that was right towards the end of his career.
It was more than 20, I think.
Yeah, nah, that would have been amazing, bro.
Viz, I am not capping. I'm not capping.
There's no way.
In the next stream.
Was your mom ever a Giants fan?
She's always been a Giants fan.
Oh, so your entire family is Giants fan?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. But wow, so why didn't she ask for his autograph then, bro?
She did get his autograph.
Yo, imagine that, bro. You're Michael Strahan. You ask this girl out. She says no, but then she asks for your autograph. That's kind of damn. That's kind of. I feel for Strahan. But go ahead, man.
People are saying, "Are you sure?" I will get confirmation after the stream. That's exactly what she told me.
Okay.
He asked her on her date, and she said no.
Is there any way you could get her to get confirmation live on stream?
She probably won't come on stream, but because she doesn't have her makeup on. But I will get confirmation right now. Okay. Wait 30 seconds. I'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Oh, okay, sure. We making this happen, bros. We're actually this is crazy. I said it as a joke, but I don't mind it. I do not mind it. Yo, they said Logan would have been mixed. 100%, bro. Logan would have been playing for the Giants he's like, how old is he? Like 13? He would have been playing for the Giants in like 9 years, bro. This man would have been a New York football. We have
confirmation. Giant. She rejected Strahan.
Wow.
She rejected Michael Strahan.
Wow.
That tooth gap is irresistible.
Wow, bro.
Oh, for the date?
Yeah.
And now we hear Logan's dad in the background.
So yeah, facts, mate. She rejected Michael Strahan.
All right, you got any other Giants legend crazy stories, or you just want to talk legends?
I've never really met a player before. I mean, I guess technically I have, but it's not like a Giants player or like a really famous player. So who is your favorite besides Lawrence Taylor and Eli?
It's Strahan.
Probably.
It's Strahan for me. I mean, I like Michael Strahan so much at one point as a Giants player that I say what some people might consider blasphemy when I've said that I think Strahan was better than LT. Some people really do consider that blasphemy, and I'm like, you know what? I can see that because LT is the greatest football player of all time. But like that just goes to show how much I liked Michael Strahan when I was younger, bro.
One of my favorite players of all time, and for some reason, a lot of people don't know him. OC.
OC?
Yeah.
Have you ever met Matthias as well?
Nah.
But yeah, I mean, not a lot. It's not like a lot of people. I feel like OC is underrated
Justin
for sure.
Tuck.
Mm-hmm.
Or one of the most in my opinion, the second greatest middle linebacker of all time, Harry Carson.
Who's the greatest?
Ray Lewis.
Okay. You have him second greatest. I don't think I've ever heard Carson as the second greatest. That's high praise. And shout out to Authentic in here. He says he was thinking about Jabril Wilson today. Had a good few years with us.
I just realized, have the Giants ever had really any good, like really great safeties besides Landon Collins in his prime?
Well, Wilson was a good safety for us.
That's true.
And I'm pretty sure there's another one. Antrell Roll was a good safety for us.
You can finish.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say, I mean, Landon Collins in his prime, of course, was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I don't know if we've ever had somebody like that. But if we're talking about consistent good play over a course of years, I'll throw up Antrell Roll there.
Other guys that I never
Kenny Phillips as well.
Yeah. Other guys that I never really hear anybody talk about is Aaron Ross and Corey Webster. They were great corners.
Corey Webster is an amazing corner, bro. He shut down everybody in the playoff run.
Aaron
Come on
Ross
now.
was a very, very, very solid corner.
And Corey Webster shut down everybody in that playoff run.
That's true. Oh, DRC. I forgot about DRC.
DRC spent how many years with us?
Like 3.
Yeah.
Who's your number one Giants tight end of all time? Mine's Bavaro.
Oh, I have a jersey of him, the red Shockey, man. Mine is Shockey.
No one ever mentions Howard Cross.
Well, to be fair, Howard Cross is way before either of our times, so I can't really speak on it.
If you think about it, he retired after we got blown out by the Ravens. So it wasn't way before our time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the chat has definitely been mentioning him. Juan has been on it with the Giants, and the chat has given a lot of great names today. And shout out to Lucas in here as well. Said Kareem McKenzie was one of the most underrated legends for the Giants.
Another guy that's one of the most underrated players in NFL history is George Martin.
George Martin?
Defensive tackle from the LT days.
Okay, yeah, like if you like, I'm gonna keep it 100% real with you. I'm not gonna know that many people from the LT days simply because I did not see them. Of course, I know the linebacking crew.
Yeah. And then Joel was spitting facts. We don't need these all-pro flashy receivers. We just need guys who can catch the ball and be clutch when they need to be.
I'm guessing that's gonna lead into you talking about now which Giants legend receivers you like.
Yeah. My favorite Giants receiver of all time is probably Monty Toomer.
Mm-hmm.
I just like him a lot. I don't know why. I love Victor Cruz. And by the way, I do think he was the number one receiver on that team. 1,500
When I
yards.
asked that question, by the way, I was surprised. A lot of people in the chat did say it was Nix that was the number one receiver.
1,500 yards and more than 12 touchdowns is the number one receiver. Stop the cap. And there's also people arguing that your slot receiver can't be your number one. This isn't Madden. Your slot receiver can be your number one receiver, just like how Tyreek Hill's a slot, and he's the Chiefs' number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then another really underrated guy is Sean O'Hara and David Deal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like David Deal was so close to being. I know people are going to hate on me for this. I don't think people should. I feel like David Deal is one of the most underrated guards of all time.
I mean, the 07 line, I wouldn't say it get much recognition because I feel like within the Giants community it does, but, NFL wide in general it doesn't. But that's because offensive linemen don't really get the flowers,
Offensive linemen never get any love.
Mm-hmm.
And Bart Oates is another great player. And have you ever heard of Charles Way?
No, I haven't.
He was the fullback for Tiki. He was a really good player.
Fullbacks are a dying breed.
They are.
Unfortunately, we let go of one of my favorite fullbacks just because he's one of
we let go of him?
Well, we didn't. He's not coming back because we got the other fullback. I forgot his name. But the only reason he's one of my favorite fullbacks is because he's like one of 2 fullbacks in the league.
There's actually a few fullbacks. There's the guy from the Ravens, Hughes Check. Never mind. There's only those 2.
Exactly.
And Eli Penny is a top 3 fullback.
Yeah, Eli Penny is top 2 at his position, bro.
Eli Penny is a good receiver for a fullback if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a few good receiving highlights. And then, obviously, Lawrence Taylor is probably my favorite legend of all time. Mm-hmm. I like Eli, but I'm more of a defensive guy when it comes to Giants legends because they've had a lot more good defensive players than offensive players.
Oh, and then they're listing Hedgecock, Madison Hedgecock, who was also a fullback, I think, not back in the day, but, like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. And then there's one other guy that I was just about to mention that I forget the name of. Oh, damn it. Oh, yeah, Chris Snee.
Yeah. Have you seen Chris Snee today?
He's ripped.
Yeah.
Most offensive linemen I
wouldn't say most, but a lot of them, they just drop the weight as soon as they retire and get into great shape.
Yeah, like what's the Ravens guard that just retired recently? Marshall Yanda.
Mm-hmm.
He's a beast now. And then another guy, Rich Seibert.
Mm-hmm.
He was another really good guy. And
what a wild child. Bobby Murphy says PFF rated the Giants 2020 O-line as the worst pass blocking line in the league. Well, it was one of the worst. I don't know if it was the worst, but just based off of because you're trying the whole season, half of the season was pretty bad. But Logan, before I switch you out here for next up, Barkley Goat, let me get your favorite Giants legend not named. The top 2.
Oh damn, this is hard. Jeopardy music.
Bum bum bum, bada bum bum bum, bum bum bum, badum, ba-da-da-da-da,
I'll
bum
go with
bum
Justin
bum.
Tuck.
Justin Tuck. Okay, that's a different one that we've heard tonight for that question. The answer to that question. I meant thank you for calling in, bro.
All right, thanks for having me.
No problem, Logan. Have a good one. Next up, we got Barkley Goat. What up, man? How you doing?
Y'all can hear me? We good?
Yeah, we good, Jaden. What's up?
All right. So what's the questions?
Well, we just talking Giants legends. Just give me some of your favorite Giants legends of all time, man. Or you could we could talk draft if you still want to talk draft.
No. We gonna stay on topic tonight.
Okay.
Just give me a drum roll or countdown. It's a duo of a name right now.
All right.
Justin Tuck and Jason Pierre-Paul.
Okay, bet. Nobody has said
ever
JPP
told-
yet. But in the chat, New York Chris has been asking if JPP is a Giants legend. I'd say he is.
Yeah. Because you know why? He used to get the Brady a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like them too because them two could get past the offensive line and get a sack. Because when it came to that playoff run, you was not stopping them.
Mm-hmm.
What you think about the duos of Jason Pierre-Paul and Justin Tuck?
It's really good. That JPP was supposed to be in the next line of the great Giants defensive linemen, bro. Like, you went from Strahan to OC, right? And I think was it Strahan to OC or Strahan to Tuck? And then it was either OC to Tuck and then Tuck to JPP or something like that, I think. If you catch my drift. Like, that's how they were going. Just one great defensive lineman off after the other at the edge position. And they all got their Super Bowls. I mean, technically, JPP got a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but
in 2011.
But he never got a Super Bowl, if this makes any sense, when he was in his prime, so to speak, or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still tight. He got one with the Buccaneers.
Nah, I'm glad for him that he got one with the Buccaneers. He deserved it.
And also, when it comes to corners, what you think about Dennis Rogers-Cromartie and Kenny Phillips? I think he was a safety at the time.
You mean Dominique?
Yeah, I mean Dominique.
DRC was a good slot corner for us. He was part of the NYPD in 2016, but he was also older, I think, and that's why we didn't really keep him around, and he sort of dropped off after 2016 when the defense dropped off. I mean, he was good for us for like a good 2-3 years, I think. And who was the other guy?
Chat, go back a little.
Who was the other player you're asking me about?
Crap. How did I forget that fast? Hopefully the chat says it. Go back like 15 seconds.
I think you probably.
Never mind. Kenny Phillips.
Kenny Phillips. Okay, I never saw Kenny Phillips play. I'm kidding. Of course, I saw Kenny Phillips play. Yeah, I like Kenny Phillips, bro. Good safety for us.
Also, I would tell you the running back who could have worked out for the Giants for a very long time, David Wilson. If it wasn't for the neck injury, do you think he'll be up there one of the best Giants running backs in history on the team?
No, I can't say that simply because we got one season out of him, right? And it was 500, 300 or 500 yards. Let me look this up right now. David Wilson, it's obviously it's really sad what happened to him because he was really explosive. Let me pull up his stats though on Pro Football Reference right here. So, okay, we got 2 seasons out of him. The first one in 2012, 358 yards. Then in 2013, 146 yards. So while the dude was really explosive and he had big playability, and I feel like everybody at one point thought he was going to be the running back of the future, I can't sit here and say that he would have been one of the greatest Giants running backs of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. And also, what you think of Hakeem Nicks, Victor Cruz, and Mario Manningham as the trios of the wide receivers?
I think that's probably the best Giants trio wide receiver in history right there.
Also, for the future, do you think we got with Galladay, Shepard, hopefully Slayton, do you think they'll be really good as a trio?
Give me the trio that you're thinking of then.
Galladay, Shepard. I'm not gonna say John Ross this yet. I'm gonna say Darius Slayton.
Okay, so that's assuming we don't take a receiver high then this year.
Yeah, but it all depends.
Galladay, Shepard, Slayton can be a really good trio, but it's going to take a lot for them to overcome the trio of Nix, Manningham, and Cruz. In my opinion, it's going to take a lot.
I don't think they're ever gonna pass it. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even care if they win the Super Bowl. Nothing beats that. Cause back then we ain't have receivers who had the speed. We ain't have that. We just had receivers who could just catch the ball, get the first.
I mean, Nix was fast.
I know, but how many receivers we had back then who was really fast though?
I'd say all three of them had really good speed to them. Like Nix was like, at least he looked really fast on the field.
Yeah. Also, when it came to linebackers, what you think of Antonio Pierce?
Antonio Pierce is a really good linebacker for us. And in terms of recent memory, and when I mean recent memory, I mean like the past 15 years, he's the best middle linebacker for us. But that's about to change with Busy Blake Martinez, who, by the way, shout out to Lucas. Because of him, I'm going to be getting, the Blake Martinez jersey at the end of the month.
Oh, yeah. What you think about Chris Canty?
I don't like Chris Canty.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Did we have Michael Boley also?
I can't remember,
Yeah,
but
I think his last name is Boley. Because I remember the pick six or the fumble six he had against the Rams. He picked up the football. He threw it at the clock and the end zone. He threw it. I remember that. He almost threw it at somebody.
Yeah, Michael Boley we had. He was Super Bowl 46 champion, right? Yeah, I think he won Super Bowl 46 with us.
Yeah, we also had Chase Blackburn. He was an underrated defender for us too. I remember Tom Brady tried to throw it with Rob Gronkowski. Chase Blackburn just got the pick, and it shifted momentum. Because then I think that we was at the 37-yard line. Eli threw it to Mario Manningham with the sideline catch. One of the best plays on offense, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you completely. That sideline throw is the best throw, the best pass.
Oh, yeah.
In Super Bowl history.
I would say the game people never bring up against the 49ers. I watched that. Eli was getting beat up by the 49ers D-line. 49ers arguably had the best D-line that year. In 2011, they was beating up Eli, getting past the offensive line, sack Eli. Because
the famous shot of him calling timeout, you know what I'm saying? And the jersey off. Yeah.
After that, he got right back up, threw it to Mario Manningham for the touchdown. And also, shout out the Tynes for the field goal that sent us to Super Bowls twice.
Missed it a couple times, but he got it done in the end.
Listen, in the season, we didn't have a good running game in the season, but it came to
2011. I mean, 2011, the run game and the defense was just not it. And playoff time, they showed up.
Guess what? It's all that matters. Season don't matter, but playoffs do. Also, what do you think of I'm trying to take it out to play it? Because Juwan, he named everybody. He probably looked up on Google anyway.
What'd you say?
Oh yeah. What you think of Carl Banks?
Carl Banks is a great Giants linebacker. Carl Banks today, I don't know what to think of him on Twitter. He be getting into it with different fans and podcasters and whatnot. Sometimes I think to myself, Carl Banks, you're like above this. I don't know why you're getting into it with people on Twitter. Just chill out and don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of above that. But Carl Banks is a linebacker, of course, one of the best we ever had.
Yeah, I don't be knowing what they be doing on Twitter because I don't have it. I don't be paying attention.
Also, Carl Banks got drip. If everybody remembers that Jabril Peppers fire jacket he was wearing during the season, he got that from Carl Banks. So there you go.
Also, shout out to Lawrence Taylor. He's the best defender in NFL history.
No, he's the best player in NFL history.
Yeah, the best player on the planet. Because you know why? He used to injure quarterbacks all the time. Yeah, if he would have done this today, he would have got fined a lot.
I mean, he would have been in jail because he was doing crack.
Yep. If Plaxico Burress didn't shoot himself in the foot, we're winning 1 or 2 more Super Bowls.
I mean, when he went out, you saw how much the Giants team dropped off. and
Yeah,
whatnot. But I mean, yeah, everybody says it. That should have been another Super Bowl year. That should have been back to back, you know.
it should have.
But let me
Yeah,
get your favorite Giants legend, not name LT or Eli, before I swap you out.
I got about 3.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Strahan, me, and then Victor Cruz.
Can you repeat the second one?
Me, the champ.
The champ.
Yeah, it's me though. Everybody forget what I've done.
What have you done for the Giants, bro?
Be the best safety on the field.
A word?
Yeah, because
During which time period?
2011, because Kid Blue was playing for Dallas at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I locked him up.
Okay. Kid Blue was playing what? Wide receiver?
Yeah.
And you, as a safety, for some reason, were man on him, locking him up?
Yeah. Nah, chill. It's all jokes, though. If I had to come up with a third one, not Eli or Lawrence Taylor, who would be the third one? This is a good one.
So you said Strahan.
Oh yeah. Oh,
go ahead.
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw. Nobody said the either of the Earth, Wind, or Fire yet. So yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a good one. Thank you for calling in, though, Jaden.
Yep.
Have a good one, man. Next up, we got Benny, then Zion, and then Miz. Benny, what's up, man? How you doing?
How's it going, man?
I'm good,
I actually like this topic a lot, this Giants Legends, because I don't know as much about it because I'm younger and all, but
I'm me too. I'm like I said, anything before like 2006, very foggy for me. So
yeah, but I know some legends. I would say my favorites. I love Eli because I've gotten to see him. I love Lawrence Taylor, although I sadly didn't get to see him, but I've seen videos of him and stuff, and he just is insane. I like Carl Banks and all. Who else do I like? I mean, I don't know if you would call him a legend, but I loved Odell. He was like my first, favorite player, like one of the guys that got me into football.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could be your legend. You know what I'm saying?
So he's like my legend. Him and Saquon are like my two like all time favorite guys, honestly. But like that I've gotten to watch. But I did want to show you something. I know. I collect a lot of memorabilia, and I have this thing right here.
Ooh,
it's a cards thing, and it has
This man has the perfect memorabilia thing right here, prepared for the
I figured
stream.
I'm like, this is perfect for the stream. I gotta show this thing.
It's literally the title of the stream, bro. All-time greats.
Reflection. But you got Harry Carson, LT, Tiki Barber. Who is this right there? Anderson. It's hard to see in here. Eli. Is it Joe Morris? There you go. Then let me get this over here. Strahan and Sims. So
why go back real quick. Why is Strahan, his picture, the only one
I know it's kind of funny because the whole point is that it's like you basically get off of Amazon and it's just kind of like gives you like random cards of this. There's like these exact players that they say will be on it, and they just kind of give you random cards of them. Like whichever one.
You know what? I might get one if it's on Amazon.
Yeah, you should get it. It's on Amazon. It's not actually that expensive. Definitely recommend it. I got it as one of my birthday presents one time.
Nice.
But yeah, yeah. So I think it gives you like kind of random cards because I think I've seen somebody on the pictures before. It has different cards on it. Like the whole point is that it gives you the same players but different cards. So yeah, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I figured that was like perfect. And
it's literally the title of the stream, man. So I like it a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Eli. Phil Sims, I like him. I like who else do I like? I like Tiki Barber. I like running backs and all. And like I said,
then what about Jacobs and them, man?
Oh yeah, I like them a lot. I actually have a signature of Jacobs. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
on
and
what?
A signature of Bradshaw. They're pictures, but they're on my wall right now. So
that's pretty cool.
But yeah, well, one of the pictures is Bradshaw and Kevin Boss, and they're signatured, and then one is a Jacobs by himself and signatured. So yeah. But yeah, I like those guys. Oh, I love Victor Cruz. I read his book. That was another guy that kind of got me into football when I was younger.
Okay, I just want to say, Jersey Life, you showing mad love, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, no, Cruz. All right, I'll say this. Cruz was what got me into football. Not heavy, but more invested than just literally watching it whenever it would show up on TV. And then I want to say 2016 was when I got into it heavy, and then Saquon in 2018 was what made me dive into the level that I am at now, where I'm looking at the draft every year and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got into it. I feel like I got into it mostly like the first guy I really liked was Odell. Like that was my guy, and I was sad when he thanks Jersey Life, by the way, for subscribing. But that was like the first guy that really like got me into it. And then as for the draft, I was really excited, I'll be honest. And it doesn't look great, I guess, looking back on it, because we drafted a running back, but Saquon Barkley got me into the draft. That was like the first guy. When I saw him and all, I was like, oh, I really want this guy. So I decided to watch the draft, and then every year I kind of just got more interested in it. So like the first year I only knew like a few players or something like that. Like Saquon was one of them.
Everybody's first year is like that.
But then it kept on going up. So yeah, those are like the two guys that mainly got me into it. Also Eli Manning, of course. But I was like a little bit past him. I was alive for a part when he had some really good I was alive for when he did really good, but I didn't watch football when I was like heavily, like when I was that young. Like I didn't know players and stuff, But the funny part is I actually have a picture of myself when I was like 3 years old watching football and like signaling for like a touchdown, like in my basement.
Oh, do you have it on you? Oh, it's in your basement?
I don't think it's on me. No, it's an old picture, so it's like on the computer or something. Like I had to find it. But like this is pretty funny because it's like that was like I was watching the games, but I wasn't like. It was weird because I never was into sports until like recently, but I always watched it. It was weird.
By the way, Mark Primetime, anybody is like welcome to call in, bro. There will be no kicking off unless you're a troll, but I know you're not because you've been on the channel for a while now. And yeah, Lucas, it is very interesting to see the different generations' outlooks too.
Yeah, man. I love Saquon though because he gave me his hat, and I was already a big, I was already like his biggest fan, before, and he gave me his hat, so that was like crazy. But I'm trying to think of some other guys I like want to talk about. I love what was it? What was that year where we had all those good linebackers? We had
you gotta be a bit more specific.
It was Lawrence Taylor and
the Crunch Bunch.
Yeah, that was cool. I like those guys. I love the I like what's his name, the receiver. I'm blanking on his name, Burris. I like him. I love those guys. Those are probably my main guys that I like a lot. Like I said, Cruz. I was, I think, a big fan of him. Because he was one of the guys like Odell that got me into football and all. But
what about Knicks?
I mean, I like him a lot, but I don't think he was one of like the main guys that got me into it. I'll be honest.
Toomer? Any love for Toomer?
Yeah, I like both of them honestly a lot. I just think Odell and Cruz has probably got me more into it because they're kind of bigger names. I'll be honest at the time.
100%.
Even though those guys are big names, like Cruz and Odell were like I don't know, like they were definitely bigger. I feel like so.
I mean, I agree with you. A lot of Giants fans around your age, it makes a lot of sense that Odell was the guy that got them into.
Yeah, I mean that was the guy that affected football. I mean, he's like he was like a star, like a star that was like talked about all around and all. Yeah, I was know about the character concerns. I don't want to go too back into it, but I just wish I always root for him. That's why I always root for the Browns. I feel like I just always end up rooting for them because I want Odell to do good. I really hope he gets a ring sometime. I really hope he does because he deserves one. I feel like he never got really a chance. He carried our offense that one year, 2016.
No, he carried our offense for a couple years.
He basically carried our offense, but that year we made the playoffs. It was our defense that was really good, and that was just Odell and Eli.
It was no sir. It's no coincidence that 2016 is also his best statistical year.
Yeah, man, but he didn't really show up in the playoffs though that year, right? Didn't he have a pretty bad playoff game? I feel
like? None of the receivers showed up in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. I kind of hope he gets traded from Cleveland because I don't think it's the right spot for him. It doesn't seem to work there. I would love to see him like I don't know. I mean, they don't have Tom Brady anymore, but I really wanted to see him like if I knew he had to go to leave the Giants. But then at the same time, I don't like the Patriots, but like I would have liked to see him have some success with like Tom Brady because I think they would have just been insane together. But I would love to see him with like a really a good quarterback that fits him. I don't know if Baker Mayfield exactly fits him. I don't know.
We shall see.
Yeah,
But
we'll
I'll
see.
say, oh yeah, except for Tavares King. Tavares King was the only wide receiver that showed up that playoff game.
Yeah. Who was that dude, by the way? Did you see that old receiver for us? He got in like huge trouble or something. I saw that on
Travis
Twitter.
Rudolph, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I remember him because I knew about him. Because I remember that year all of our receivers got like hurt or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of our receivers got hurt, and he was like one of the main guys who was just getting playoff time. And I was just like, who are these dudes? And I learned that was one of the main years. I feel like I learned actually a lot. It was funny because it was a really bad year, but I learned a lot of players that year. So.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Benny,
yeah,
I mean,
that's
this was a
Hey,
good
thanks
call,
for me.
man. I really love the Amazon plaque. I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. I don't know if they're still selling, but I for all I know,
How
I
many?
think they
How
are.
long ago did you get it then?
God, it had to have been a year ago. But I think they're still
Okay.
selling. You can also check the maker of it. I think Logan actually has something like it. I think it's different. It might be LT, but it has a few cards of him. So this company definitely makes stuff like this. But I would think that this would still be on there. I think I checked a little bit ago when I was getting somebody a gift. Actually, they weren't a Giants fan, but I just saw it on there. I think it was around probably 6 months ago, and it was still on there. So
Shout out to
Probably.
Calvin. He got a question for you, Benny. He says there's a lot of talk on whether Julian Edelman
Yeah.
should be a Hall of Famer or not. What's your take?
Oh man,
So
this
before
is
you
hard.
go, answer that one.
I've watched Julian, and that's actually a guy I've watched, and it's so hard because I want to have him in there. But I saw this thing comparing his stats, and they just don't seem to be like, I don't know, good enough.
Well,
but
let's
at the
say
same time,
I will say
he's
this.
so clutch in the Super Bowl and all that.
I will say
and
this: Julian Edelman in the playoffs is legit.
He's so clutch. So I feel like his regular season stats may not be the best. I mean, I think he said he made 0 Pro Bowls. Is that right? Did he actually
It
not
could
make a
be.
single Pro Bowl?
But like the playoffs should count, right? But I'll
But
say
the
this:
credit
I
would be
saw a
really-
tweet that was comparing him and Hines Ward.
That's what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, Hines Ward isn't a Hall of
Yeah.
Famer? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that should just be the Hines Ward should be a Hall of Famer, and that Julian Edelman should be also.
It
I
could
don't know.
be. I mean, in my opinion, I'm like, you could be a great NFL player and not make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
feel like today has become a point where it's like, if you're a great player, you have to go to the Hall of Fame. And I'm guessing that's kind of how this whole topic even started.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I take clutchness, honestly, over, like, stats in the regular season and making Pro Bowls, which are just popularity voting. So I would put him in the – actually, I would think I would put him in there. But I could see why people want to make an argument not to. I'll tell you that. I don't think it's, like, a set stone thing.
Mhm.
But, yeah. Thanks
But
for having
yeah.
me on, man.
No problem, Benny. Have a good one.
Hey,
Guys,
see
go
ya.
over and check out his channel, man. Peace.
Peace.
Next up, we got Zion. What up, man? How you doing, bro?
Yo, what's up, dog? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're a bit low, though.
Okay, nice. Let me just turn this up. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. That's what's up. I just wanted to say, hey, shout out for Benny, man. Like, can I just talk to him? Like, I just want to say for Benny, like, what's up, Giants Nation and everything? Like, you're never too young to. Don't ever let anybody tell you you're too young, and don't let anybody tell you and judge your knowledge. I'm 28 years old, and I'm still learning about football till this day. No matter what, nobody online or anybody like that is GMs or in the actual NFL. So don't let anybody ever judge your knowledge. I love seeing the little ones come on and speak the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, bro. I like that, man. Thank you, Zion. That was really
real,
good.
man. That's real. I have to mention that. I was gonna mention a bunch of players that already got mentioned, which is what's up. But hey, nobody mentions Jeff Fiegels yet. I mean, like punters count too. He did some stuff, and kickers too. Lawrence Tynes, that 47-yarder, I believe it was in Green Bay, and that 31-yarder in San Francisco to both trips to the Super Bowl. Also, I would say for me, I grew up when I was about Benny's age. Speaking of that, like I grew up a Michael Vick fan. I didn't really understand football. I just loved watching Michael Vick because he was exciting at the time. Same for his comparison to Odell Beckham, OBJ, and like when Michael Vick went to jail, I was just on the TV one day, like flipping through the channels, and then a game came on. It was the Giants versus the Bears. It was the 06 season, the 07 season, and then I bought a bunch of hats. I always been really into hats, and I had that hat on my wall. I didn't know what team it was. I thought it was an NBA team. MLB team at the time. I wasn't really into football, and it ended up being.
Oh, so you had a Giants hat? Okay.
Yeah. I used to go to Foot Locker and just pick up, like, the $5. You used to have like $5. Just
do you
pick
still
out
have
all
the
these
hat
hats.
with you or no?
Oh no, dude, that was like an old. I think it was a draft hat. It was like a gray draft hat. It was like that. That's all the way back in like 2006. I moved up from Hawaii. I live in Cali right now. I grew up on Hawaii, so we don't have a professional sports team. So I just grew up an NFL fan. But then from that game, all I remember, was seeing Eli, seeing Toomer, and then come tonight, I became a fan that game. Believe it or not, we won the Super Bowl. We beat the undefeated Patriots, and I became a fan ever since. So, like, for me personally, like, I would love to see players like Lawrence Taylor and stuff, but I'm like you. I didn't watch them. I didn't watch them play live. Like, I didn't watch them. You guys get what I'm saying? All I'm
No, I get what you're saying.
is like players like Eli Manning, players like Michael Strahan, Amari Toomer, Victor Cruz, players like that. Justin Tuck, all those guys from both those two Super Bowls, all of those guys that, I know legendary player is a legend, can be used, can be thrown around there. But I think everybody that I just mentioned has a bit of legend in them, and in their own right has a bit of legend status to claim. And I know you said players, but I'm going to go one step further. I'm even going to say Tom Coughlin. Everybody loves Bill Parcells. He's one of the best to ever do it, and you can tell by his coaching tree, But Tom Coughlin, like, man, the guy came in. Nobody really liked him. You could go watch old documentaries and go watch old films and stuff on YouTube.
My favorite one of all time. Have you ever seen the America's Game documentary? I love that.
Yes, exactly. You can see like him eventually, like they'll be on the bus and he'll be eating his sandwich, and him eventually like getting through with the players, and him and Michael Strahan coming on good pages and stuff like that. You could see all of that with over the time of their career. And I don't want to take too much of your time, so I'm just gonna leave.
You literally just came on, bro. Go ahead.
You
just called in.
Hey, I appreciate that, Hub. Like, I just want to say, I know I told you this already, but I did give you a shout out in my video, man. Like, if it wasn't for people like you, like, my channel's been in the dead zone. It was in the abyss. It was just dying, and you guys was the reason why. Like, all you people in the chat too, the Giants family, like Giants Nation, you guys are the reason why. Like, I brought it out of the dead, and I just want to thank you for that. And can I just kind of turn it over to kind of like the draft, if you don't mind?
Go ahead, man.
I was listening earlier, and yes, Victor Cruz did have the stats on the in that season, but he was undrafted, so Knicks was number one coming into the season, and he opened up a lot of stuff for Victor Cruz to get open. And plus, Victor Cruz, nobody that speed was just gone. You know what I'm saying? When we did those deep balls to him, so I truly believe that that Knicks was the number one on that year.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Going into the season, it was Knicks. Would you say at any point during the season it shifted?
Probably like mid end of the season. So if you take beginning, middle, and then end, probably like the middle, like the middle end of the middle, if that kind of makes sense.
No, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So like and then it took off in the playoffs, and a lot of people forget like he's not legend stats, so I understand why his name would not be mentioned. But Steve Smith helped us out a lot too.
I would put Steve Smith on legend status. Maybe personally, he's definitely under. Like I said it all the time. Like 99% of Giants wide receivers are underrated. He falls in that category for sure.
Yeah, not like in total, like to draw the bottom of the bell. Remember that one season? I think it was 2015 where we dropped this receiver named Perkins. Like he couldn't catch the ball to save his life. Like, was it Perkins? Or it was,
no, I think you're thinking of Ruben Randall, bro.
Was it Ruben Randall? It might have been Randall.
I hate Ruben Randall.
Couldn't catch a ball to save his life, bro. And like, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, man, like, I wanted to keep it on topic, but the reason why I brought that up is because like I'm currently doing videos and doing my research on like Rashawn Slater on.
And by the way, real quick, guys, go check your channel out. Not just Giants, UFC as well.
Hey, I appreciate that, Hub. Hey, word, thank you, bro. I'm trying to do my diligence to get the best videos out there, and more me doing my research. Like I'm seeing so much. I think this is just my opinion. I think Micaiah Pearson's gonna be gone, and Rashawn Slater is gonna be gone before he even gets to hit. And like,
I agree with you. I'm
kind of getting that. I'm kind of getting that sense on Slater because just a month ago his name wasn't even being discussed, and all of a sudden he kind of shot up. You know what I'm saying? And which led me to like, if you have a Waddle, if you have a Smith there, hey, Bro, word.
Shout out to Joseph. You've been plugging everybody's channel tonight.
Hey, word, bro. Shout out to Joseph, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. If you get a Waddle, if you get a Smith, man, like think about like, you know, Sterling Shepard, you know, had to be correct me if I'm wrong. Jump in at any moment you want to jump in. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? If you look at Daniel Jones' deep yard passing, Daniel Jones had one of the best, if not the best, deep yard passing ratings on Pro Football Focus. He had one of the best deep balls.
I think he was rated the best.
The best, followed by Drew Brees and then Kyler Murray. If you look how much throws Kyler Murray made, it was like 60-something. He completed like 27, when Daniel Jones had like 42 and he completed 20. Okay? Mm-hmm. Sterling Shepard, for me, I say he can play him, but he's better in the slot, right? If can you agree on that? Like last year we played Sterling Shepard played more on the outside than he did play in the slot last year.
And I'm gonna say this. I've always said this: Sterling Shepard is best in the slot, but that's not to say he can't play outside. In fact, the past 2 years he's played more outside than he's played outside, slot.
Right?
Yeah.
So imagine a scenario where we have Kenny Golladay outside, Sterling in the slot, a Waddle, a Devontae Smith. You know, Waddle. People think Devontae Smith. He plays his best in the X position, but he can also play the outside too. You know what I'm saying? So if like. Not even to mention the Rudolphs of the world. Please have a good. I don't know how to. You made the Pro Bowl tight end of the world, Evan Ingram. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
All my friends tell me Evan Ingram was a great tight end. I dropped him on fantasy. I'm like, yeah, he's a great tight end for non-Giants fans. You ask the Giants fans, like Evan Ingram was not like he just needs to catch the ball. Anyway, I'm not trying to go on a rant, but like imagine a scenario where we have a Golladay, we have a Waddle, a Devontae Smith, we have a Sterling Shepard. We're known. Everybody knows. If you look at the history, look at the past 7 years, our wide receivers get hurt. Sterling Shepard, he's great, but I like Sterling Shepard. The only reason why I hate on him is because he can't stay healthy. Mm-hmm. You know, I think he had, and like I'm concerned about these players too. Like as you just mentioned, I'm a fan of the UFC. CTE is real, man. The guy had like 7+ concussions. I'm just trying that number, but he had a lot. You know what I'm saying? So like. He can't stay healthy, and Darius Slayton's a good. You know, we got Pitts, we got Ross, but just for insurance, and that's only if you know they see an opportunity and they see someone that they really like that they could see in the second, in the third. You know, I really don't want to push it back to the third, but you know, I'm just excited, man. We're 2 weeks away. You know, we pick at 11. There's nothing that can go wrong at pick 11. I really believe that there's nothing that can go wrong unless they draft a quarterback, and that's not going to happen.
And I agree with you. And I'm going to say this on the wide receiver thing, because I've been on both sides of the argument for the entire offseason. I mean, I started off being a drafted wide receiver in the first round guy in January. My mock drafts reflect that, right? Mock 1 and Mock 2. You know, Mock 1, I took Jalen Waddle. That was back in January. Mock 2, which was February, March, I took no, Mock 1 was Devontae Smith. I mean, Mock 2 was Jalen Waddle.
Okay.
Mock 3, I'm not going to tell you guys because it's going to come out within like a week, the next week or so.
I think I've seen your first one. I have to go back and watch the second one. I got it.
Gotta watch the second one, right?
Bro, there's YouTube. Like, the notifications be weird on YouTube, so I'll be making sure that I put the ring the bell. Everybody that's listening right now, you put that notification on. You put that bell on. Back to you.
Thank you, bro. No problem. Yes. No problem. Thank you. But yeah, no. So I've always been a drafted wide receiver guy. But like I've been on both sides of the argument. I recognize when people say the wide receiver class is deep, we could get one in the second round. I completely agree because I feel like we just need a reliable target. Exactly. I would love to get a legit bona fide star number 1 in the first, that'd be awesome. But I would be completely happy with just getting a reliable guy in the second. So like I see both sides and I'm fine with it. I just want to take another weapon within the first 3 rounds. Like I feel like we need it. You know what I mean?
Just the first 3. And I totally understand because if you look how deep, like if you look at any other past drafts, like, you know, the wide receivers that's ranked 1 and 2, you know, they're really not the best wide receivers as history goes on. You know what I'm saying? If you maybe it'll be different this year because Chase is a stud, but if you look at previous years, you know, I remember, I believe in the year that Chris Godwin was coming out, he was even ranked in the top 10. He was ranked 15th to 16th, you know, so nobody really knows on these receivers. Claypool was ranked like 23rd, 22nd. So it's like, nobody really knows, you know what I'm saying, Jay? The guy who Justin Jefferson, it was ranked 7th in certain people's, you know, so nobody really knows. Nobody really knows on we'll leave it in the coaching staff. We trust in at least I do. I hope all of you guys do. We trust in the coaching staff, and I truly believe that it's a different feeling, man. It's a different feeling this offseason. 100%. It really is,
And Zion, let me get your last thoughts, man. Your favorite Giants legend, not named Eli or Strahan, before I switch you out. I mean Eli or LT.
Eli LT will probably be Michael Strahan.
Yeah. I say Strahan because he's mine.
Yes, that gap. Like I have that gap.
Hey, rocking it too.
Let's get it. Rocking it too. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you guys all, Giants for life.
Peace, Zion. Thank you for coming in, man.
Thank you, bro.
Guys, make sure you go over there and check out his channel. Next up, we got the call-in legend, Miz. What up, bro? How you doing?
What's up, Hub?
I'm good, man.
What's going on?
We talking Giants legends, bro. What you got?
I know. Oh, I got a whole bunch because I probably go back more than most of your crowd.
Let's hear it.
I got guys like I used to go to the bathroom on offense so that I wouldn't miss Lawrence Taylor on defense. I'm being honest. That's real.
Yeah.
I grew up on defense, and guys like Lawrence Taylor is the greatest ever. He's the greatest football player in history. And anybody who knows football, and if you're too young to know, you could go ask somebody, your father, your uncle, anybody. The best. Better than Ray Lewis, better than all of them. But guys like Mark Collins at corner, Keith Hamilton. Keith Hamilton was a beast, number 75 defensive tackle. And then a little later on, you got guys like Jesse Armstead. I grew up with Jesse Armstead, Michael Strahan in his young days, and then he grew into a legend, Michael Strahan. And I don't know if you know number 36, the safety. A lot of guys may not remember him. Sean Williams.
I don't know.
Sean Williams, look him up, man. Take a look at his highlights on YouTube. Sean Williams is one of the hardest hitting safeties in NFL history. He used to knock people out back in the days when you were allowed to,
Miz, I got a question for you. I got a question for you, Miz, because you saw Strahan play throughout his career. When the Giants took him in the second round, did you think he was going to be that good? Like, as good as he became?
No, when the Giants drafted Strahan, nobody even spoke about him. Honestly, like people, it was not like today, like where we studied these college players and we know everything about them. We know what time they wake up and what kind of cereal they eat in the morning right now, because we're so deep into this. The drafts back then were
they were a lot more quiet.
They were low key, and you got to know the players afterwards once they started playing for you. I think when Jesse Armstead and Strahan started, man, they started on special teams.
They worked their way up
on the D line also, but he was also a special teams guy. Jesse Armstead started as a pure special teams guy and grew into a Pro Bowl linebacker. So that's how back in the days players played like 2-3 roles. When special teams was a must. If you came up on a Parcells or a Coughlin team or Belichick, you were playing special teams, man. It wasn't even like, I'm a star in college, I don't have to play, but you're playing special teams.
And I know that you like that about Judge. He wants his players to play special teams to the young guys.
Yeah, judges of the Belichick, Parcells, Coughlin type, exactly the same as all of them. He's right. He's from Belichick. He's doing everything just like Belichick. He's building a Giants team just like the Patriots did, and you're going to see it in the coming years. But just the way he coaches, the way he made Tate stay home last year, man. He taught a lesson to the whole team by keeping a veteran from taking a trip to a game. That's big.
When did Judge really gain your trust? Like at what point did you say this guy is it? Did you start to realize he is from that tree that you were talking about and all that?
When Judge gave that speech when the Giants hired him, and then throughout the year he kept his word, made the players bust their butt. No player was above the next. You know what I mean? And you've seen the team come together real tight and the defense grow as the season went on. And when you see the defense and the special teams grow, you have that type of coach.
And by the way, shout out to Logan in the chat. He's a member. He's using one of the member emojis, which is the man himself, Joe Judge. So if you're a member, you get that emoji and you could use it, man.
I'll give you a couple modern guys. We've seen the last 2 Super Bowls, so a lot of your crowd probably knows these guys, besides Strahan. Listen, I loved Plexico, even though whatever he messed us up on a guaranteed repeat. We all know the Giants were repeating. They were 11-1, and they played the best teams in the league, and they were blowing teams out by 20-25 every week. So
real
he
quick.
shot himself, and
Let me get the super chat real quick. Shout out to Zion for the $5 super chat. He says, thanks for having me on. Joseph, you the realest, Giants for life. Zion, thank you for coming on. Thank you for the good, pep talk you gave Benny, and you got a good channel over there. What makes you so confident, Miz, that we would have been in the Super Bowl and we would have won it?
That Giants team that Plaxico shot himself, they were 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
They were better than the 2 Super Bowl teams sandwiched.
Mm-hmm.
That team was the best team.
So how did it fall apart so badly?
Because Plaxico, listen, that night
he was just an integral part of the team.
Nah, listen, he shot himself, man. He wasn't just at that point, man. He was one of the best receivers in the league. You couldn't guard this guy down the field because we had the best running game in football. So when you have to put 8 in the box against those 3 running backs, I believe we had Jacobs, Bradshaw, and Ward. And they rushed for over 3,000 yards combined, first time in like 40 years. When you got to put 8 or 9 in the box, how are you covering a 6'6" octopus down the field? You're not. And then you got Shockey over the middle also, remember? And Tua on the other side. So listen, man, that team was, and that was the best O-line in football for like 6 years. The best O-line in football. Ray Lewis called it the nastiest O-line in football. Simple, man. When you have an O-line like that, football is easy. You know, that's what we're trying.
Do you think we're going towards that now?
Yeah, I think the Giants need one more piece in this draft. You know, whether it's Slater. Listen, you already know where I stand, man.
Parsons all the way.
No, it don't have to be Parsons, but I'm big on a defensive player at 11. Like I also lately been falling in love with Kwity Paye and Aziz. So you get me.
I love Aziz. I love Aziz, man.
Yeah, Aziz to me is gonna grow into a real deal defensive end, like a pass rusher. You know, and listen, I don't know. You could go offensive line. Listen, I know the receivers are real good, but there's so many good receivers. You know, people are sleeping on Bateman. I think he might turn out to be better than Smith.
Well, I wouldn't say people are sleeping on him. They have him right up there with those guys. He's not being taken high, I guess you could say.
Did you hear the story? Was it last season? He played last season, right? He didn't opt out. He played, right? Well, last season, I heard a story today. He had COVID, and he never came back exactly the same. He never felt good afterwards. So that took a hit on him, or else he might have been higher in this draft. And now they say he's back to full strength. He's been working out. I think he's a real downfield. He's a big time receiver. I think he's going to be a big time receiver. But there's so many receivers in this draft. Why do we have to take one at 11? You know, because the defensive players might not be there at 42. And I get it. If Slater's there at 11 and you want to go with Slater, so we solidify this O-line, that's a good move. I don't mind. But I don't agree with the receivers. And I know receivers are fun. And I know a lot of people like fantasy football and all that. But we could get a receiver in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. We just put so much money into free agent receivers. It doesn't make sense. The Giants are not going receiver at 11. And another smoke screen. The Giants are not taking Surtain. That's just someone threw that out there to mess with Dallas.
Yeah, there's no way we're doing that. I don't think so. Not our secondary is pretty strong right now.
That's another thing. Dallas, that whole Pitts, another made-up story by ESPN, something to talk about. They're not moving up to get Pitts. Pitts is not falling to 10. Dallas knows they need defense and offensive line badly. You know, but you know what? I liked him a couple of months ago, and then I fell off of him. But lately, I've been falling back in love with him. Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye is really good.
Do you think where is he going to line up on this Giants? You think he could play outside linebacker for us though? Because here's my thing: Kwity Paye, in my opinion, is the number 1 edge in the class. However, my number 1 edge in the class for the Giants is Aziz, because I don't know where Paye is going to fit on this defense.
Yeah, because he's not a stand-up.
I feel like he's like legitimately just a 4-3 end, and he's going to be great as a 4-3 end.
Yeah, and people are like, he's amazing against the run, but he's not that great at rushing the court. But I think that he can be great against, because the great players learn how to do everything over time. But you're right, he's a 4-3 defensive end. The stand-up linebackers, dude, the 2 guys are right there, man. Parsons or Aziz, like you said. You know? You want to throw Phillips in there. I'm a little worried about the concussions.
Everybody's gonna have to be basically taking a chance on him.
Yeah, that's it. I saw tonight Kim Jones put out her 6 players that the Giants are going to draft at 11. I don't know if you saw that.
Who she had?
She
What up,
listed the
diehard?
6 players that the Giants are heavily after. Parsons, pretty much the guys we said. Parsons, Kwity Paye, Aziz, Surtain, Waddle, and Slater was like 2nd or 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could wipe out Surtain. I think that's just a name people are throwing around.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need another corner right now.
Our corner is not only stacked in terms of quality, but quantity as well. We have a lot.
Yeah. Listen.
So let's quickly get back to the legends because we kind of got off track when we got into Strahan. Who are you gonna say after Strahan and whatnot?
You got Strahan. Listen, I love linebackers. Jesse Armstead, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I liked, and he wasn't a legend, but he was big in our Super Bowl in 07, 08. Do you remember Kwanika Mitchell?
Kwanika Mitchell.
The linebacker, he had the long hair. He started the whole season.
For some reason, no, I don't.
Kwanika Mitchell, man. They picked him up, I think, from Buffalo for 1 year. And he had a real outstanding year for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. There's a lot of good plays. Plaxico, listen, I liked Hakeem Nicks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Hakeem Nicks a lot. And I love Shockey because he brought the Giants this crazy attitude,
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he got out of hand after a while, right? So
I mean, I still like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got the jersey and everything. Shockey was, he was a big, exciting dude for me because I was young when he was playing too.
Yeah, the fan base loved him because he used to stick it to the Eagles every single game, man. So, I remember that he used to have wars with Brian Dawkins. They used to have battles.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And shout out to Danny Thomas for the $10 super chat. He says most underrated Giants: Shockey, Antrell Roll, Steve Smith, Hakeem Nicks, Antonio Pierce. And then he says, I think we need to draft Tamorrion Terry from Florida in the 4th round. Terry in the 3rd or 4th. We were just talking about how deep the wide receiver class is. Would be great.
I had Terry in my only mock the other day. I picked him up in the 3rd round, I think. Scary Terry from Florida State. That guy's 6'4", and he's a burner down the field.
Mm-hmm.
He could also slant. He could also catch a 5-yard slant and take it to the house. So that guy has everything. I don't know why they don't talk about him more often.
Mm-hmm.
You also have the kid Brown from North Carolina.
I'm on Ra, right? Or are you talking about Diami Brown?
Noname Brown, right?
Diami Brown. There's another Brown I like. I'm on Ra St. Brown. I like him a lot. He's just a really good all-around receiver. He's also going to be like a 2nd, 3rd round guy.
I've been big for months on Nico Collins, but I think because we got Galladay, we're not going to go with another big guy. We're looking for one of these small, shifty, fast guys, right?
I mean, I wouldn't mind. Honestly, I think the Giants are just looking for a reliable guy, to be honest with you.
I'm not going to hold you long. The guy before you, Jose, I give him credit because he brought up a guy that I love, one of my favorites ever, and that's a coach, Coughlin.
Mm-hmm.
I really looked up to Coughlin for all the years he was here. That guy was the real deal, a great coach, and I'll give you my top 3 guys, and that's it. And that was Lawrence Taylor was my greatest ever, and Eli Manning. I loved Eli Manning, and believe it or not, one of my favorites of all time, Brandon Jacobs.
Really? He's up there in your top 3?
Brandon Jacobs is right there in the top 3 or 4.
And Brandon Jacobs is probably one of the friendliest Giants ever. Like, he always he's really good with interacting with fans.
I just love that physical style he played with. He never tried to cut anyone up. He just put his shoulders down and just tracked right over them.
I mean, he was also literally a tank. Dude was huge.
I mean, he was 6'5", 267 pounds of muscles.
Mm-hmm. He was literally a defensive end playing running back, bro.
He was a linebacker, bigger than a linebacker. No one wanted to get in front of him. And he wore the Giants jersey with so much pride. That day that Christmas game against the Jets, when he basically ran Rex off the field. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Brandon Jacobs, I think, should be in everybody in terms of just favorite Giants. He should be in the list, man. He's just a beast. The energy on and off the field, like When I tell you every team should look for a Brandon Jacobs, man, every team should look for a Brandon Jacobs.
You ain't gonna find them because there ain't 6'5", 267-pound running backs out there in this country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that could get as low as he was and run like that. But you know,
and you know, so, to something to say since we're on that, you know, that particular group of running backs, Bradshaw as well. Even though he was small, he ran like Jacobs too.
Bradshaw was a bull, and Bradshaw was a 7th round steal.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacobs was a 5th round guy. So you see, you could find plays that turn out to be great and win you 2 Super Bowls late in the rounds. You know, there were guys. Victor Cruz wasn't even drafted. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So not everything has to be the 1st and 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give you one other guy, and then I'm gonna get off. I don't know if you remember. It's probably before your time, but you heard of him, Ronnie Hampton, another 27.
I've heard of him, yeah. But but before my time as well, yeah.
He carried the load for a bunch of years. The guy was a consistent 1,000, 1,100-yard rusher every year. And back in those days, that was big.
I mean, 1,000 and 1,100 yards is still big today.
Every year in and year out, man. You know, so, and he was with the Giants as a rookie when they won the Super Bowl in 1990. It was him and Otis Anderson. So,
yeah. By the way, Quadi, I hope I pronounced your name right. We brought up Dave earlier when the very first caller, Joel, was on here.
That's it, Hub.
Hey, man. Miz, thank you for calling in, bro. I hope you guys like the change of pace for the call. I wanted to do a theme, Giants legend. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you brought up some great ones, man.
That's good. Let me ask you one question before I get off. Lately, I've been watching a lot of this guy. Not that we're going to draft him, but what do you think of Horn? Because I think Horn might be the best corner in this draft.
J.C. Horn?
Yep.
I'll tell you what. Before Caleb Farley went down, because Farley was my number one, Horn is right there with Surtain. And I'm going to be honest with you. If you have Horn as your number one right now, I don't blame you. He's really good. He's just that good. Him and Surtain are right there neck and neck, in my opinion. And don't be surprised if he goes first in the draft in terms of cornerback. You know what I'm saying?
That's all. I'm going to get off. This draft is coming, and I want everyone to know that the Giants this year is finally going to be a real football team. That's a team to be reckoned with. I'm telling you. I'm not just saying that as a fan. It's the first time in 5 or 6 years that I can't wait for the first week of September already.
It's going to take so long, man. I hope it passes like I blink and is there, man.
All right, Hub.
Yeah, no problem. Yo, legend on the calling show. Thank you for calling in, bro.
Hub. You're the legend.
Thank you, bro. Have a good one. Next up, we got Rob from Nerding Out Sports. What up, Rob? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Legends, Giants legends, man. I had to call in. I keep hearing all these great names, and I'm just like, man, I feel so old because I'm hearing like Jabril Wilson, and I'm like, I remember when we drafted him. I have to feel too old, man. Seeing guys like Benny and all them, just like it's great though that the fans are. We got so many young fans that just know so much. It is very good. But
I've said this before. Maybe it's biased, and maybe it's because I'm only seeing our fans. But I think we might have like some of the smartest young fans in the entire NFL.
YouTube is a great place for that, man. Like, you know, I know like social media and all that sometimes can be toxic, but you know, are the fans on here and on Twitter? We got some really smart fans. It's not just us, but you know, we're keeping it Giants bias right now. I mean, a lot of smart people on here, man. It's great. It's great to see.
So who you got then?
I mean, did anyone talk about Fred Robbins yet?
Nobody talked about Fred Robbins. And before you get into him, shout out to Tudo Azori all the way from Italy for the $5 super chat. Thank you, my man. He says, ciao, my paisano Jay. How you doing, fellow? Just dropped in your office to pay my respects. Forget about it. Thank you, Tudo. I appreciate it every time you come in, man. So Fred Robbins.
He was a monster, you know, because I keep thinking about all the defensive tackles we've let go, and we've always found a way to draft another one. And he was one of those guys that we let walk. We replaced him. We let that guy walk, and it's just been that never-ending cycle. But
it's been that cycle, right? Like people love to joke. Dave Gettleman loves to draft defensive tackles because he knows how to draft defensive tackles. The Giants for like 20 years just know how to draft defensive tackles.
Yeah, and they constantly let him go, but they get another going right back. And usually the player they draft is comparable to the guy they let go. It's weird how that works.
like
But
the biggest, just real quick, the biggest three that matches that description would obviously be Robbins, Joseph, and Tomlinson. Who would you say is the best out of those three? Robbins?
Probably. But watching Tomlinson for all these last few years, and he was just so underrated. Like he did.
Well, Tomlinson is definitely the
everything
most versatile out of all of them, just
Right.
because it was what was demanded of him.
Yeah, Robbins was fun to watch, and those Giants defensive lines in those years, like from 04 through the championship in 07, was just it was great, and that was a mix of players, and Justin Tuck being able to play defensive end and defensive tackle. He was one of my favorite players, and I had his jersey, and I wore it like almost every other day at high school. And
sometimes it feels like Tuck had a short career, bro.
It really does. I'm always going to be salty that they let him go to Oakland, and we gave the same amount of money to O'Brien Schofield, and we never signed him because I think he had like a failed physical or something. But they let Tuck. Yeah.
How long did he play? Like maybe 10 years? Less? He did have a short career.
He did. Yeah, he had a lot of injuries.
Man, he should have been there for like 15, bro.
He should have been a Giant for life, but that's the way the business works sometimes.
Shout out to Tudo again for the $5 super chat. Okay, Tudo, he got one of the jokes. Says, how are a bottle of Bud Light and a Philadelphia Eagles fan alike? They both empty from the neck up. Yo, this he be dropping gems, bro. He be dropping gems with these jokes.
That's a good one.
But yeah, continue. Tuck, OC, Matthias Kiwanuka as well, man.
The one I like Kevin Boss a lot. I was a huge Shockey fan, and when we let him go, when Kevin Boss took that role over really quick, that's one thing people don't talk about with Eli Manning enough is just how good he was with tight ends. Like Kevin Boss was, I think, a 4th rounder. He was great with him. He made Jake Ballard look like a superstar. He got some good games out of Larry Donnell and Will Tye. And
I was about to bring up, bro. Remember Will Tye?
Yeah. That's just, man, I keep going back to that 07 team, the year, and then hearing Miz bring up 08, just how good we were. And everything just went downhill because you had to prepare for so much with that Giant offense. Earth, Wind, and Fire on the ground game, and then Eli can just beat you with the play action. Plaxico was playing hurt that year. He was, even if he wasn't playing 100%, he was a decoy, which allowed you to get the ball to Toomer and Steve Smith, who were just those pure possession receivers. They're going to get you the route. They're going to get you the yards, and you're going to keep moving down the field. And once you didn't have the game plan for that anymore, you just stopped the run. That's really where it just went downhill for the Giants. Because once you stop that run game, Amani Toomer's not beating you at that age anymore. So yeah, trying to think of like other names that haven't been mentioned, but so many people have just brought up.
People say Bear Pasco right now in the chat.
Bear Pasco, man, he hurdled. Forgot who it was against Dallas in Week 17, 2011. I can't remember who it was, but he had a hurdle, and the famous Bill Belichick line saying, "Make him go to Manningham, make him go to Pasco." It's exactly what Eli did.
Went to Manningham. And you think, we always say we know Brady keeps up at night because of the losses. You think Belichick keeps up at night?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's like, man, he obviously he's gonna be, he's a Giant great as well. He was. Yeah,
he loves it. I mean, you already know my conspiracy theory. He loves the Giants so much that he gave us Joe Judge.
He said, "Here, take him, help them out a little bit." But yeah, just the way we beat them, it seemed like they had it, and then for it to happen almost identical both times. The late comeback, just both involving a crazy catch. That throw by Eli to Manningham was probably the best throw I've ever seen. I know I might sound biased by saying it, but my goodness.
No, I don't even think that's biased. I really think that's the best throw in Super Bowl history. Eli to Manningham.
How do you make that throw? It was on point, exactly where it had to be. Man.
And shout out to Tudo for another Eagles joke here. He says, "What's the difference between Bill Clinton and an Eagles player? Bill Clinton can score." Yo, chill. You gonna make Bobby Murphy get a stroke, bro? Bobby coming back with his Giants jokes in the chat too.
Oh man. I'm trying to think of other players, and I like LeVar Arrington, even though he wasn't really with us for too long. I was big on that signing. I even had his jersey too. But man, we've been lucky to see a lot of great players. The likes of Strahan, and I wish I could have seen Lawrence Taylor play. I was born like right towards the tail end of his career, so I wasn't able to see that. But just OC Tuck, Kiwanuka, Kavika Mitchell was brought up by Miz as well. He was so good for that Super Bowl season, under the radar signing. He played his position so well. Antonio Pierce was just a monster. We have not had a linebacker like him. I'm hoping Blake Martinez can be that guy.
No, I think Blake Martinez is going to be that guy. I mean, then again, I am very biased towards him, but I do think
great. He is great. And
peace, Benny.
Peace, Benny. We've had some great players, and I'm really liking the way the roster is being constructed because it's kind of reminding me of what we had in that 07, 2011 range, which was a balanced group up and down the roster. We never had that superstar. This is back what Joel was saying earlier in the stream. We didn't have that superstar, but it was a very balanced group. Each guy on that team was able to do something differently. And I think we're going to see that with Galladay. He's that go up and get it receiver. You have the good slot receiver and Shepard that runs his routes well. He's going to get the extra yards. And Slayton now can kind of be whatever they need him to be, really. He can be a slant guy. He can
as well. Peace out, Authentic, man. Thank you for doing that.
Authentic. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited, and I'm glad Miz brought up Kwity Paye because
real quick before you get into it, right? Shout out to Toast in here as well. He said the pillow ain't cold, so he joined the stream. Welcome in, bro. But all right, go ahead. Kwity Paye. I know you're a big Kwity Paye fan.
I am. I just because we let Tomlinson go, and I always thought he would be the Leonard Williams replacement. But since we're probably going to put Lawrence in the middle of this defensive line, and Kwity Paye can play on the line, it kind of makes sense.
Well, yeah, we don't know if we're going to put – that's the great thing about our D-line. I legitimately think we have the best D-line in the NFL when it comes to versatility and just depth. Because you know who's going in the middle? It's Danny Shelton's going in the middle. So Dexter could still operate on the the other end position.
That is true.
But then we still have the Odenigbo. So it's like, yo.
I forgot about Danny Shelton.
Bro, the mixes and matches that we can do, bro.
That is, I completely forgot that we had Danny Shelton. That's going to add to that D-line depth.
He's completely there for run stuffing, you know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, I mean, they might even pass up on Paye. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we go offensive line. If we're talking about the draft real quick, I wouldn't mind a receiver. I just don't think that they should. I do agree with Miz that we can probably wait till second, third round to get that receiver. We should finish this offensive line because I think it's just one piece. That guard, I really feel like it's got to be a guard because I love Matt Parrott and I love Andrew Thomas. I don't know about Lemieux just yet. Will Hernandez, I think he's better off on the right side, in my opinion. And Nick Gates really played well. I think we just need that one piece. And if it's Slater, if he falls to us, that'd be a dream. I also really like Elijah Vera Tucker. Some people think that's a reach, but I don't know if it's so much for reach because he's a guy that they really feel like can play guard.
And before I address that, shout out to Tudo again for the $5 super chat with the jokes. He says, "What has 4 legs and no ears?" Mike Tyson's dog. Yo, Tudo, you got a book of these, bro? You got a whole book of these? I just want to know. Because I buy the book.
So Mike Tyson's biting his dog's ears?
I mean, exactly, bro. But I'll buy the book. This man got a book of jokes. I'll take it.
It's a good book.
To say on Elijah Vera Tucker, though, I mean, I've said, I think maybe a couple weeks ago, I don't think there's going to be any reach at 11, going back to how I think there's not going to be a bad pick at 11. I agree with that, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I wouldn't be super happy with AVT at 11, but I wouldn't be super mad either, and that's kind of how I'm going to feel about a lot of players.
Yeah. I think at that point, unless it's Slater or one of those playmaking receivers, that name is probably not going to be there at 11. You got to think realistically, the Bengals are probably going offensive line, and I have a bad feeling Dallas is going to take Slater.
If he drops to them?
Yeah. I think if that's the one team that if he were to fall out or right to number 10, or it'd be him. or maybe Dallas that takes him, and I don't want that because he's going to be good no matter where he plays.
And Joseph, that's good for you, man. He says he's going to a Heat game. He is a Heat fan. I got to go to a Knicks game again very soon. But yeah, Rob, let me get your last thought, man, because then I got Rick Gull up next. What's up, bro?
All right, so I'll bring it to my third favorite legends. That's the question you've been asking. It can't be LT, can't be Eli. I'm going OC because I was able to pronounce his name at such a young age. So I was proud of myself. I had his jersey. And
how young?
I think I was like 12 or something. I mean,
how'd you get it? Like you heard it once from the announcers and you got it?
I played a lot of Madden and I was like, how the hell do you say his name? And then I kept hearing them say it wrong. Actually, I think they said it wrong, but then I kept hearing it, like you said, on TV. And no one in school could say his name, and I kept feeling proud of myself. Like, no, it's Yuminura, and so I was like, yeah, I know how to say words.
OC, good pick, man. I mean, a lot of the picks are gonna come from that 07 line, basically. But hey, man, Rob, thank you for calling in, bro. Have a good one.
Thank you for having me, man. Good one.
No problem. Next up, it's Rick. What up, Rick? How you doing, man?
Hey, Hub. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Nothing much, man. I kind of hopped on late, so I don't know if someone said my legend yet, but Lawrence Tynes, man. Twitter legend, too.
Lawrence Tynes on Twitter is a goat.
Absolutely.
I tried to get him on the podcast before the season started, and he was like, I have to talk to these dudes who apparently he does a podcast with already. So that was his nice way of telling me I'm already booked for like the next year or so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember those moments. Like he made that kick against was it San Francisco? Was it the first Super Bowl or the second one?
Second.
Yeah. I remember that. That was legendary.
The first one against Green Bay took a couple tries.
Yeah. So yeah, him. I gotta go Brandon Jacobs too, man. They just like the one of the guys before said they just don't make running backs like that anymore. So
I think the only person that comes close to it is Derrick Henry, but even then, Jacobs was still massive compared to Henry.
Yeah. But I also like that combo of Ahmad Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs, like just like that smaller guy with to say that Brandon Jacobs is a big guy, like doesn't even do it justice, but like you know what I mean. But yeah, and then I like Antonio Pierce, and Justin Tuck too. So, but like
that entire D line, man.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, I really appreciate the theme chat, but like, I can't stop thinking about the draft.
Go ahead. You're welcome to talk about it right now, man.
Dude, I don't know. I'm just glad that I don't have to make the decision. Like, I think I was listening to Louis Riddick. He was like, "This is why Dave Gettleman gets paid all this money. He has to make the decision." I don't I don't know what to do. I don't know what we should do.
Like, do you think there's a bad pick at 11?
I bet if we push, I bet Dave Gettleman could definitely make a bad pick if he wanted to. But
who would that be? Or what position would that be? What position do you not want to see at all at 11? For me, obviously quarterback.
Not a corner. I don't want to see a corner. And to go off like what that guy was saying before about Dallas taking Rashawn Slater, I don't think that helps them because they're terrible. Like obviously it helps them because he's a great player, but like that defense sucked. Like who's their best corner right now? Trevon Diggs?
Yeah, probably Diggs.
That's not a number one corner. So they need a corner because Washington has more receivers now. We have more receivers. So they need a corner bad. But I think I really don't know what a bad pick is. I've seen some mock draft like Rousseau. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you positions that I don't want to see. I don't want to see a quarterback. I don't want to see a cornerback, and I don't want to see a safety. Because those are positions that are like basically full. You know what I mean?
I don't know if this. I wouldn't say this is a bad pick. I wouldn't like the pick. I've seen some mock drafts. The linebacker out of Notre Dame. I don't like that pick at 11.
JOK. I don't think JOK fits us at all, and he's small. He could be playing something else other than linebacker at the NFL level. We'll see.
Yeah. I just don't. That's the thing. Can't see like. That's why it's so difficult because I really can't see a bad pick because I think we're gonna have a lot of options. I'm honestly really
for the first
excited
time in a
about
while, we have like the luxury of having options.
Right. I think, yeah, and a lot of teams, like, even though like the teams in the top 10, like, they need receivers, like, they have a lot of options within those receivers too. So like, it's so exciting. But like, I'm excited for us in the later rounds too, because like, I don't think there can be a bad pick because you can spin it either way. So like, we could take a receiver in the first round and get like a guard in the later rounds, or vice versa. So I don't know. I really don't know. I like those. I think we might like one of the later picks, not like 2 or 3, but like maybe like fourth and sixth round. We could take a running back. I like both those guys out of UNC.
Williams is going in the second or third.
But dude, Michael Carter is so fun to watch. Like he's just like that little guy. I mean, he doesn't look fast though, but like I don't know. There's something about him that I like. But I think we could use a running back in the later rounds. And then I'm a Tamorian Terry fan. I want him in a Giants uniform so bad, but I just don't know like
where would you pick him? Third or fourth? Maybe even second. I've seen him going sometimes.
I think second's too high. I like Wyatt Davis. Is that guy at Ohio State? Yeah, I like him in the second. That'd be my pick for the second. But Tamorian, I would say third. I'd be okay with. I would like in the fourth, but he'll probably be gone. But I just don't know if like we need a deep threat like that now that we have Kenny Golladay and then Darius Slayton. He can go deep too. So I just don't know. Like I just like the sleeper pick. You know. I just don't think. I don't know.
But you still want a receiver within the top 3 picks?
Oh yeah, I think this is the year definitely to get out a receiver. I just like. I don't know. I really don't know. I also would like. I don't know if like Jason Owe is going to be available in the second round. I'd be cool with that too, but
I think he would be. I do.
How many sacks did he have last year? He didn't have that.
He doesn't have the stats, but it's like you could see just the talent and potential in him. You know.
I like maybe that guy at Wake Forest in the third round.
Basham, right?
Yeah. But like, I feel like we could get a good value play at edge later in the rounds. I wouldn't like an edge at 11. I don't know if that'd be like Jalen Phillips at 11 would scare me a lot. Like that's too risky, even though like he's a cool guy. And also, you know what? You know who's a cool guy? Evan Ingram. But like, he's not he seems like such a nice guy. Like this is
in real life, Evan Ingram is like a bro that anybody would hang out with, but he's just not it on the football field.
It all the time. Like honestly, I feel bad like talking smack about him all the time. But like, he seems like such a nice guy. But he can't. Like he makes Daniel Jones look bad. I mean, Daniel Jones does that by himself too. Love Daniel Jones, but like.
I hope there's somehow, some way they could turn Evan Ingram around because the coaching staff loves him for some reason. So,
yeah, I don't know. What do you think we could get for him? Like if we wanted to trade him, like on draft day?
Realistically, I think we could probably get a third. People have told me that's a bit high, but I think there's a team that would give us a third for him. Would you trade him for a third round pick?
I would trade him for a third round pick and get Tommy Trumbull if he's available third. Dude, I like Caden Smith, honestly, like does more than what Evan Ingram's supposed to do. Like, honestly. So I'm just tired. I'm also tired of people like, oh, the Giants are going to be third this year in the NFC East. The Cowboys are going to be bad. I promise you they will be bad. The only competition is Washington. And even that is a stretch with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I can't do anything.
No, I agree with you. Well, first of all, the Eagles, I apologize to any Eagles fans. I'm counting y'all out. I really am. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't be, but you guys are fourth to me. Dallas is third to me. People have said, well, Dak is going to be healthy, and I'm going to respond, well, when Dak was healthy, they were 1-3. So,
and their offensive line is worse.
Their offensive line is bad, and their defense is bad. Dallas is third to me. Like it's really.
Yeah.
It's really between Washington and the Giants for me.
Yeah. It's hard to focus on like work and life because all I think about is the Giants and what they're going to do in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're in college, right? Like
and I work too, yeah.
Yeah, but like it's hard to focus. I do the simulator every day. I watch your videos like all the time.
This man comes home, he hops in that chair, and he opens up 5 different mock draft simulators.
I wish I was kidding. I really wish I was kidding. But,
which one do you use the most?
I like PFF. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't like PFF. I just like using their their interface and stuff. I don't like what's the one that always tries to get you to trade?
That's PFN.
PFN. I don't.
But that's because the reason I like PFN and a lot of people do is because it's free to trade. You don't have to pay.
Yeah. But like, that's another thing too that I mean Dave Gettleman's never traded down, but like that'd be interesting. I think the mock trades I've seen are like with the Patriots. I wonder what they would give us. I'd be interested. Like if I don't know how I would feel if like say we traded down to 15 and we took like Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
If we trade down to 15 and take like anybody that's supposed to go 15 or after, I feel a lot better about it. I don't know why. Like Phillips, I'd feel way more comfortable taking him at 15 versus taking him at 11. You know what I mean? I'd be completely down with that.
Edge 2 at 15.
Aziz, bro. If we trade down at 15 and get Aziz, it's an A+ draft for me because I already love Aziz a lot. But him at 15 would be just perfect to me.
Him at 15 would be great. But yeah, I usually switch it up. You know what I like about PFF too? I like doing the random.
Oh yeah, you could turn up the randomness, right?
And I like turning it up so I get Penei Sewell. I'm just like I'm pumped. I'm so excited because like this really is like the year.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Like I really.
We're gonna do big things this year.
Like I believe in Daniel Jones this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really does have talent. Like people like make fun of him, but like if you put Patrick Mahomes behind our O-line, he would be trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care. I don't care who you put behind the O-line. The man, like you've seen the photos of him like getting sacked in the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone's fumbling that ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, he does make stupid mistakes sometimes, but like I'm excited though.
Mm-hmm. Man, Rick, I like it, bro. Thank you for calling in, man. You got the faith in DJ. I do as well, bro.
All right, man. You have a good night.
Have a good one, Rick. And finally, the last caller of tonight, guys. Ash Money Records. You tuned in mad late, bro. Like Rick was about to be the last one, then you pulled up.
I know, man. I'm sorry about that. I was doing something, but then I got
it's all good, bro. What's up?
I got on YouTube. I saw you was on, so I was like, you know what? Let me hop in. Since I'm a member, I feel like I should be in every live stream. You know.
All good, bro. What's up?
What was the topic of
Giants Legends was the topic.
Giants Legends, and I guess you were saying like who's your favorite or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Basically along those lines, yeah. Or just any interesting stories if you got them.
I'd say my favorite. You know, I'm only 18 years old, so I'm not gonna tell you stories about Lawrence Taylor and Michael Strahan, but I did meet Victor Cruz at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Because I'm Guyanese and I'm Puerto Rican as well, and both of my families are in New York. So we went. My Puerto Rican family, which is on my dad's side, we went to the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and I saw him, and he was in the parade, and I guess he dropped something. One of the little, I forgot what it was, but he dropped something near me. He went to pick it up, and then I picked it up for him, and then he was like, "Oh, thanks, man. You look just like me," and I was like, how do I look just like you? I guess he's seen that I'm like a Puerto Rican, like I'm at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, but I'm black. So I guess that's what he meant. But yeah, that's a cool little story.
Well, did you tell him that you were a big Giants fan? You were like, oh my God, you're Victor Cruz?
Yeah, I was like, dude. And literally, it was, I don't remember which game it was. It wasn't, I think it was near the Seattle Seahawks game. I don't think it was before. I think it was after. And I was telling him about that catch. I was like, dude, like you're literally the only NFL star who I could watch their highlights over and over and over again. Like literally, I would memorize the call that was made when he had that 99-yard touchdown. I memorized it and I could say it like That'll stay with me for life. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get through, these questions I got for you. So I guess y'all were talking about the draft too. You know me, I'm gonna want Devontae Smith. I know the narrative is, people want Slater. I think that Joe Judge has enough faith in our offensive line. I'm not saying that we need to completely not address it. If Wyatt Davis is there in the second, and I've watched him, me being an Ohio State fan, I've watched him for the past 2-3 years. That dude he's a monster. I think he's being slept on. And if he goes in the first round, I wouldn't be surprised. I think he should be in the not up there with Rashawn Slater in terms of a guard, but he should be in the top 20. I mean, not top 20, in the mid 20s.
Okay.
From 20 to 30 as a pick, but I know he'll be slept on, and I won't be surprised if he's there. And the reason why, and I think if Rashawn Slater is even there, I don't even think we'll take him. I know Giants fans are going to be surprised by that because that's what they want. But at the end of the day, it's all about what this coaching staff wants. And I do think Joe Judge is going to have some say more than Pat Shurmur did, because he's built this team for the future. And so I think if Rashawn Slater is there, I don't think they'll take him, being that he feels good about Matt Peart to tackle. So he's not taking him to play tackle. He's going to take him to play guard. And I think that they feel like the BPA is going to be one of those Bama boys. And I just can't pass somebody whose ceiling is the next Marvin Harrison. I'm sorry.
That's your ceiling on Smith?
Yeah. Literally, it's just so similar. And he has that clutch team. And I guess I can ask you this next. Who would you take? Or who would you take, Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle?
Between the two, I prefer Waddle.
Yeah. I did prefer Waddle, but I went back and I looked at Devontae Smith's tape, and I'm just dude, and the narrative on him is that he only got good because Jalen Waddle went out. And I look back, this dude was making
No, I don't think that's the narrative. At least for me, my thing is he shined a lot more because Waddle was out.
Yeah. But I went back, I'm this dude's been making plays since his rookie year when he had Judy on the team and Ruggs. People forget he was the one that beat one-on-one man coverage and caught the pass in the Georgia national championship game. And if you look back at the LSU game, not this past year, but the year before that, where it was Tua versus Burrow, and that's the year Burrow won the Heisman. LSU was up on them for 2 scores, and it was a minute and something seconds left. And Alabama got the ball back. They're on their own 20-something yard line, and people are this game's pretty much over. And literally, the first play, Devontae Smith beats press coverage and takes it 70 yards in one play. That's clutch. And I just feel like he fits our offense better than a Jalen Waddle. I know Jalen Waddle, in the future, if we would take him, and I wouldn't be mad if we would take him, not at all. He will be the replacement for Shepard because we're going to play him more in the slot. I just feel
and he still can definitely play on the outside because he's probably the fastest guy in the draft.
Yeah, and
he's super speed.
If Slayton, and I hope Slayton proves everybody wrong, including me, because I don't like the fact that he only had 3 touchdowns, but he did have 700 yards. I think his play will be better this year. But let's just say if it doesn't, we have Devontae Smith as that guy for the next 8 years. I don't know. I just like Devontae better. I wouldn't be surprised if we traded back, and I just feel if we don't select a receiver at 11, we're not going to select one till round 3.
No, I think we could get a receiver in the second for sure.
Yeah, but I just feel say if we get Rashawn Slater, right?
Bro, if we get Rashawn Slater, I think we're definitely going receiver in the second round.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I couldn't be surprised by that. I just don't I feel like Joe Judge and Patrick Graham, they would want to edge too much, you know?
Mhm.
And one of those good guys that they interviewed, I think at least one of them will be there in a second.
Mhm.
And they might, I just feel like if they pass over Devontae Smith, if he's there, I just feel like that tells me that they're content with our receiving core as is right now. And I really don't like the narrative as like we could just get a receiver in the third or just get a receiver in the fourth or the fifth. I really don't like that narrative because
Well, you can get a reliable receiver in the third.
you said you can or you can't.
I said you can. You won't. I'm not saying you're gonna get a bona fide number one, but you could 100% get a reliable receiver in the third.
Yeah, but at my point is, I would just rather have that first round receiver like a Devontae Smith, like
Because you believe they're gonna be better as a number one.
no, like even as a number two, like if Devontae Smith goes,
Well, 100% they'd be great as a number two.
yeah,
But my thing is you could get reliable. The key word here is reliable receivers in the third.
yeah. But my thing is just like I don't want to, I just don't want to stick to reliable. That's how we end up with like Ruben Randalls and Darius.
Nah, because
Like
look back at 2007. That was a group of, and 2008. It's a group of reliable receivers.
yeah, but I don't know. Like remember last year, people were saying that receiver class, like going up to the draft, they were saying that receiver class is arguably the deepest of all time. And if not the deepest of all time, it was the deepest since 2014. Like, remember Giants fans, we wanted Devin Duvernay and Antonio Gandy Golden. Like, would you take them over somebody like what's the dude who plays on the Jaguars? Laviska Shenault or like Michael Pittman? That's what I'm saying. Like, if we don't take a receiver in the first, I would really want us to take one.
I agree with you there, but let me go with the second round, which is what I was arguing. You can't find one in the second. Chase Claypool was found in the second.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, just like in round 3, round 4, 5, I would really want us to take one in a second. But I just feel like they would be too, like Joe Judge and Patrick Graham, they would be too in love with and bringing in the fact that they're gonna have like everybody in the war room this year. They would be too in love with the fact that one of those edge rushers would be there.
Hey, bet real quick, we hit 70 likes. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I just feel like they would be too in love with one of those edge rushers. But how do you feel about because I'm not a draft guy. I'm like when I watch the draft in previous years, in previous years I only care about the round 1 and round 2. Last year I really paid attention to like every single round, and so I am this year. So how do you feel about what the Giants could do in like the later rounds, like a round 5 and the 2 picks in round 6? Because I think when we get to that round, we're just drafting like suitable role players,
So 2 things. First of all, y'all chill out on Bobby Murphy. Bobby's a great supporter of the channel. He's an Eagles fan. And of course, Bobby be talking mad cap in the chat most of the times, but y'all really ganging up on him. You know what I'm saying? Chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Engraven is there as well. And I agree with you on the later rounds. Well, it's going to completely depend on what we do earlier, what we do in the first, second, third, fourth. But the later rounds are 100% for finding your role players, finding your guys with special teams. Maybe you get a guy that has a high ceiling, but was just not at college and he could break out at the NFL level.
Yeah.
Particularly for this year, the only position I'm really looking at in the later rounds, because once again, it depends what we do earlier, will be running back. Yeah, you guys know me. I love Elijah Mitchell, and I would love to get him in the 6th round, and he makes sense to the Giants considering he played at, Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns, with Rob Sale. And, we got Rob Sale over on the coaching staff now as well, so.
And that's what I was saying, before the draft season came in, I was like, we should really go all offense. And I know you felt that way too, because I really have that much faith in our coaching staff that we could get somebody in the 5th and 6th rounds and they could be a role player after I saw last year. Now, let me give you a dark horse breakout player. I just been having a weird feeling about this, and I want to get your thoughts. I think Carter Coughlin is going to break out this year. Not like major breakout, but I think he's going to be a major impact player. Like
I think it's between him and Cam Brown, to be honest. And Carter Coughlin gets a lot more of the attention with good reason because he's more refined.
Yeah.
The reason I'm bringing Cam Brown as maybe another candidate is because, and I always say this, there's nothing special I can name about Cam Brown except for the fact that he was always in the backfield when he was rushing the passer.
Yeah.
He always found a way to be next to the quarterback, you know what I'm saying?
And he was good on special teams as well.
Mm-hmm.
And back when we drafted Carter Coughlin, like even I was watching.
We took Cam Brown before we took Carter too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Cam we took in the 5th or 6th. I think it was 6th, and then we took Carter in the 7th. Yeah.
I was watching because I knew we had the last pick, and I wanted to see because I never pay attention to when they announced Mr. Irrelevant, which was Tate Crawford. But I was paying attention, and I saw Carter Coughlin, and I was like, we could really make something with this dude because I'm really like a college guy, and in Minnesota 2 years ago, their defense was top notch. Like they were always competing, they were feisty, and I was like, we need to get somebody off of that Minnesota defense. Like,
well, we got two people. We got Carter Coughlin and Chris Williamson. Chris Williamson never made the squad though.
Yeah, and I saw Carter Coughlin's tape, and I'm just like, if we can polish up some of his mistakes, he could be that edge rusher that we're looking for. You know, and the dude can put on some weight too because he's kind of like slender, but not
same
really.
with Cam Brown too. Cam Brown is like the skinniest outside linebacker I've ever seen in my life.
If both of them put on some weight, I think we might have our guys in terms of like edge rushers and playing at the linebacker spot. Well, Carter Coughlin's really he was drafted as an edge. Cam will be more of that linebacker, but kind of rushing the passer as well.
And I'm gonna have to say though, Ash Money, I'm gonna have to get your last thought, bro.
Oh yeah.
And real quick, shout out to Zion for the $5 super chat. He says, "You know you a stud when they only talk size. Want to see Smith versus a big physical cornerback in the NFL. Joe will get the best out of whoever we draft at 11." I agree with that last part. Our coaching staff's gonna do it, man.
Real quick on that. It'll be real quick. Listen, I don't care about Devontae Smith's size. It's not gonna matter if you can't press him. J.C. Horn, what people say is arguably the best corner in the draft, and he's shooting up draft boards. Devontae Smith made him look like a fool trying to cover him. Like, go back and look at that game versus South Carolina. But my last thoughts.
Shout out 75 likes. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I wish I was in at the beginning of the stream, but I'll catch you later, Hub. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Hub, man. And that's all.
Oh yeah, before you tune out, thank you for calling in, man. Favorite Giants legend not named LT or Eli.
Okay, favorite Giants legend not named LT or Eli. I would have to say Michael Strahan. Like, in terms of not personal, I would have to say Michael Strahan because, you know, I had my whole family talk about him, and that's what I grew up knowing. But in terms of like personal wise, I'd have to say Victor Cruz because he made me fell in love with the Giants. It made me fall in love with football for him. So
I like it, man. Hey, thank you for calling in, Ash Money. Have a good one.
No problem.
Guys, go over there, check out his channel, Ash Money Sports Topics. Thank you, man.
No problem.
And shout out to the chat and all of the viewers tonight. You guys were great. This is the first time I was trying to kind of like a theme thing to keep it on topic for the entire stream. Every caller was amazing. Gave me some great names. Gained a lot of knowledge tonight. And even guys in the chat, you guys were incredible with listing out Giants legends, man. Shout out to all y'all. Even Engraven, the Ravens guy here saying Shockey. Listen, bro, I love Shockey. I got that Shockey red jersey. He's a Giants legend. And I am tired of Jersey Life, which is why I had to end it. But, you know, nice, good stream, 2.5 hours, man. You guys were amazing. Shout out to y'all. I always appreciate the support you guys give me. The channel would not be here without y'all. That's it for now.